Welcome to Hot Garbage.
Hello and welcome to Hot Garbage, where we are the only trash talk that matters. I'm your host, Laura, and on this episode, we're having Drunkcast.
Hell yeah. What you drinking, Laura?
I am drinking Prosecco.
Hell yeah.
And it has everything that we're doing actually has everything to do with my motherfucking share time. So
Love
I'll
that.
show you my cup. It says the tassel was worth the hassle. And there's Prosecco in it because champagne, not that good, if we're going to be for real.
Yeah, it's a little overrated.
Mm-hmm.
I've got my trusty
Prosecco.
bourbon that I usually have. So
Yeah. Tyler usually drinks. I don't.
Call me out on it.
Yeah, which brings us to motherfucking share time. And I'm going to tell you guys what my motherfucking share time is. As you know, I've been coming on this podcast for the last couple weeks. Actually, like a month or more, probably. I've been coming on here being a depressive bitch for a while.
Yeah, it's been a good amount of the year already so far.
Yeah, it's been a long time where I've been coming on being a real depressive bitch, right? And I've been like, I feel like nobody cares about me. Tyler's motherfucking share time is how much he cares about me one time because I've been such a depressive bitch.
Yeah.
And so half of the reason that this was happening is because half of my friends weren't talking to me. And so, like, I am like one of those people where, like, if nobody's talking to you, you did something wrong, right? Like, you did something to piss people off, right? Like, I'm not too proud to say that. So I was thinking I did something to piss a lot of people off and, like, nobody was talking to me. And so that's why I've been kind of a depressive bitch, too, because, like, I felt, like, really, like, kind of, like, not great about things. A lot of people forgot my birthday, but my birthday was also on Easter.
Yeah.
So, like, it made sense why, but, like, it was, like, compounding, like, everything.
Yeah,
So I was
it's
being
still not
depressive
great.
Right.
So
I was being a depressive bitch for a while. And so turns out everybody wasn't speaking to me because my mom had organized a surprise party for me. And I am so intuitive, and like I'm a very intuitive person. So it's like you can't actually talk to me because I'll figure it out. Like I'll somehow pull it out of you.
yeah.
And like that's what every single one of my friends said, because I had said like I've been like a depressive bitch because I thought everybody hated me. And they started cracking up because everybody stopped talking to me because they realized that they'll tell me the secret, and it was a surprise party. So it was hilarious. We were cracking up about it. Sarah, my best friend Sarah, she hasn't been FaceTiming me, and I've been like crying to her about like how like fucking fucked up I've been, right? And she kept a straight face the whole time, but she wasn't FaceTiming me. So I thought she was mad at me too, because like I'm like, wow, why isn't she FaceTiming me? Like that's so unlike her. And it's because everybody was coming to the surprise party. So I literally didn't have a fucking clue that they were putting together the surprise party for me. You could see in the video. There's a video reaction that I sent them. Stephanie's not here, by the way. We didn't even address that.
Oh yeah, Stephanie's sitting this one out because
Stephanie's sitting this week out. It's fine. She's having a work week, so she's sitting it out for the week, and we're fine with that. So
she needs
anyway, yeah, she needs a little breaky break, so she's taking a little nappy nap, and she's gonna be better. So anyway, so I had sent them the reaction video, and they were cracking up about it because I mean, like the waitresses at the place were cracking up about it. Like I didn't have a clue. So my mom had told me that we were going to this restaurant for dinner at 5:15 for Mother's Day.
Mm-hmm.
And it was Saturday, so I was like, oh, okay, like it's Mother's Day, like whatever. I didn't even anything. I didn't have an ounce of makeup on. I don't have an ounce of makeup on right now, but that's because I'm still a little hungover.
2 days later.
Yeah, we need 4 business days to get it together, okay? I don't drink much.
Rookie.
Yeah, I don't drink much. So, anyway, my mom had told me all that. The waitresses were cracking up about it because I walk in and everybody's like, surprise. And I'm like, what?
For what?
I said, for what? Because it's May and my birthday was all the way in March. All right. If you wonder why there's a big chop, it's because my internet died, like right in the middle of it.
I forgot what you left off on too. Like, I think it was
I think
basically
I
just
said,
getting to the party. So
yeah, and I'm pretty sure we had talked about the video that I sent, and I said for
Yeah.
what,
yeah,
and it was because yeah, and it was because my mom had put it in the middle of May. My birthday is in March. I graduate in June,
Mhm.
so she put it in the middle of it. So it was my birthday party / my graduation because I'm finishing my bachelor's.
Love that.
So that's why I was like, for what? But I was completely surprised. I didn't have a clue. Like, it was shocking, to say the least. And so a bunch of my family had come down from Pennsylvania, so that was, like, awesome. I was like, "Oh my god, that's so great." Like, that's awesome. Like, I was so excited to see, like, it was, Betty, my grandmother, and, Dave, my uncle, and then Thea, who I've talked about before, my cousin, and her mom, Judy. They are really close, so they were there and everything like that.
Nice.
And then a bunch of my friends came, and one of them was my best friend, Danielle, who gave me the cup. Thea gave me the Prosecco in the cup. And then
From this
Danielle gave me
angle,
the
it
cup.
actually looks like either like coffee or tea, like coffee with milk or just tea. Just from the angle that you
Okay.
had it right there. It's weird.
Okay, cool. It's herbal tea. And so she got me a bunch of stuff, but one of them was this. She got me like this cute little keychain, and she got me a bunch of stuff, but one of it was this because I love cups and I love mugs.
Mhm.
So she got me like this. She got a bunch of people got me a bunch of stuff. It was really nice. It was really awesome. The food was great. And you saw how big the cake was.
I don't think I saw the
I
cake.
sent you a picture of the cake as well. It's in the group chat. Anyway, while
Did I
he's
see it?
looking it up,
Yeah.
you can see how big the cake is. It's huge.
I don't know how I missed that.
Yeah, the cake is giant. So my mom ends up getting this cake, and it's dairy free because I don't have dairy. I don't need dairy. So like a bunch of the stuff was dairy free that they had picked. And so the cake was dairy free. So a bunch of my friends, like my friend Nick, had been like, "Oh, I don't eat dairy that much, so I'm not going to have a piece of the cake." And everybody was like, "It's Laura. It's dairy free, dude." So it was like this chocolate peanut butter vegan cake, and it's delicious. I have a ton, and it's like a really like dense, rich cake because there's no like dairy in it, and I think it might be gluten free too. It's vegan.
Nice.
So it's like a really like easy, safe cake for me to eat, but it's like rich and dense. So it takes like I can only eat like a little bit at a time. But it's so good, and it's peanut butter and chocolate.
Ooh.
And it's the first cake I've been able to eat in like I don't know how long because I go places and everything has dairy in cakes.
Also, you did not send a picture of the cake.
I didn't send a picture of the cake. Okay,
It was the video and then the gummy bears.
okay. Yeah, Danielle got me my favorite gummy bears. She got me a big bag of my favorite gummy bears. And she was joking. She's like, when the podcast makes it, they should sponsor you.
Hell yeah.
I'm going to send it to you, just
All
you,
right.
because I don't want to bother Stephanie.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. I'm glad they did that for you. And, it only cost you like 2 months of your mental health. So
I know, like my mom has apparently been planning this since February.
Damn.
And Sarah was supposed to come, but then work ended up making her travel like last second. And like a bunch of my cousins were gonna come, but like one of them had a wedding that he had to go to in like Italy, and it was like, pick the fucking wedding in Italy. Like, fuck me.
Yeah.
Like fuck me, actually. And like another one was traveling to Ireland. I was like, fuck yeah, like fuck me again. Like honestly.
Enjoy the travel.
Yeah, like do it for me. Like that's enough for me. Like go have fun.
Ooh,
So
that cake looks incredible.
Yeah, so oh my god, it was so good. Do you see how big it is?
Yeah.
Maybe I should show that. Maybe we should like put it on screen for the YouTube so you guys can see how big it is.
I want it.
There we go. Look how big that shit is. That's me. That's the cake.
It's like the size
What?
of your torso. Like,
It's like literally the size of me. Like it was the one person like carried it over to me and I was like, be careful. And she's like, it's lighter than a 50-pound bag of potatoes. I said, okay, that's great to know. The waitresses were cracking up because when I walked in, they were like, you didn't have like a fake shocked look. Like, you know how like sometimes when people come in for like surprise parties and they're like, oh my God. And it's like they clearly knew, like they were dressed, they had like the makeup on, everything like that. I walk in a jeans and like a nice little sweater, don't have a stitch of makeup on.
and you just look stunned in the video.
I
You're
was
just
like, and that's what I was. Yeah, I was. And the two waitresses were talking about it and they were like cracking up in the corner. They were like, oh, they got her good. Like they got her really good. But the reason that my mom ended up putting it in May instead of March was because it was on the water. Like we have like a little like little waterway to the bay where we live. And it's like this place sits on that water, so it's really nice and it has like an outside bar. And it gets really cold in there because it sits on the water.
Yeah.
So my mom didn't want to do March because it's still cold.
Yeah.
So she literally did one of the last weekends in May that like they have this place open. So that way like people were warmer. And we ended up staying after and got like another drink and like I had like 2 jackets on and I was still shivering. But the guy at the bar, he's the owner because he's there at night, so he's the owner. And we come down to get another drink, and when I tell you this man gave me the whole thing of because I was drinking vodka with tonic and a little bit of lime because that sits good in my stomach. And so I'm drinking that, and when I tell you he poured like I watched him take like the bottle top off of the like Tito's and like just pour the rest of the Tito's in. I mean, like I had like 4 shots. Because then my parents are also like, come on, like they want to close, like come on, like hurry up. So I'm like, like slugging this vodka down and I don't say anything. I don't say anything about it being straight vodka. I don't say anything to anybody because this man like hooked me up as far as I'm concerned. So I'm not going to say a word. I don't care if you're the owner. I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to let your wife hear. I'm not going to let anybody hear. Right.
Yeah.
So we get back and my uncle ends up coming back because of the house fire. A lot of my family hasn't seen the new house. So he wanted to come and see the new house. So he comes by and he's checking out the house and he looks at me and I look at him and I say, he gave me like 4 straight shots at the end there. He started cracking up.
That's amazing. That reminds me of oh, good.
No, it was great. I was just saying that we were cracking up about it, but go ahead.
I had a moment like that in Boston. I was with my mom and my dad, and we went to the Sam Adams Brewery. And at the end of the tour, like they give you like a beer tasting thing, and like you get to try like stuff that like they're still experimenting with that they just have there.
I
and
love
stuff like
Sam
that.
Adams.
Same.
When like I can't drink beer anymore because of everything.
Yeah.
I stay away from it because of the gluten. It's like really hard to digest, so I just stay away.
Yeah.
Sam Adams was like my I loved them. Their like summer one was like my favorite thing.
Ooh, yeah. But so my parents not big drinkers in general, but definitely not big beer drinkers because they just don't like the taste. And so like each table has like this big old fucking like picture of it, and the glasses are small. They're like maybe like a little bit bigger than that or something like that. But like nobody else except for me is drinking like this beer pretty much. And there's like
You're
like
the drunk friend with all the sober people, so like you're gonna get home.
There's like 3 different like beers that they gave us, and I drank like pretty much half the pitcher of all 3 of them, or more than half probably. Plus whatever my parents felt like they didn't want anymore, I drank that as well. And so like we leave the brewery and like it's getting close to like game time because we're going to the Red Sox game. And so my dad's like, okay, I need directions to Fenway. And I'm like, give me a second. They're like,
not
a
a
little drunk, aren't
clue.
you? I'm like, I am a little drunk. Yes.
I've been there a bunch of times. Don't fucking know. Been there a bunch. Not a clue.
Well, that was our first day, like, in Boston, like, my first time ever being
Oh,
there.
okay.
And so, like, we're just gearing up, like, ready to go and stuff, and they're just like, "All right, give me directions, Fenway." I'm trying to get my shit together here. Like, give me a
I
second.
drank all the beer. I drank all the beer. You know, when we were so Kristen comes. Kristen's at my party, and we end up talking about Germany and everything like that. Because my friend Nick, he travels a lot, and Kristen's been fucking everywhere.
Yeah, I'm jealous.
Like that's like literally like when Kristen's like, "Where have you been?" It's like everywhere, and when she says everywhere, it's like literally everywhere.
Yeah.
The only continent she hasn't been to is Antarctica.
Oh, really? She's been to, like, Africa and Australia and stuff?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. No, she hasn't been to Australia. She hasn't been to Australia. Good catch. Good hasn't been to Australia. But yeah, Africa. Yeah, she's been to Africa.
Oh,
She
damn.
had a long layover in Qatar, which should count.
Yeah, I agree. Even if it's just the airport, I say it still counts.
It was just the airport, but that should count.
Yeah.
She said the reason that she never left the airport there was because if she did, she would have had to change her entire outfit and like put on like a burqa and like that whole thing.
Yeah, not worth
She's
it.
like, I'm not leaving the airport.
Not worth it at all.
Yeah. And it was only like a long layover, but it was like by the time I got out and back, it would have been. So here's a segue. Hey guys, I don't know how much the share time was cut out. Welcome to Drunkcast.
This is a great idea.
I don't know what got cut out. Don't know when you came back. Don't know when you left. Welcome to Drunkcast.
We'll find that out later.
That's the segue to come back from my motherfucking share time because God only knows where the fuck we went there. Don't know. Tyler wrote down a time and we're going to edit through that.
Yep. It might be a pretty choppy story. We'll figure that out.
It's gonna be a really choppy motherfucking short story time. And welcome to Drunkcast.
All right, so my turn.
Yeah, let's get okay. So I had a great time. Thank you to everybody that came because I know that some of you guys listen. Leanne was there. Leanne, our biggest fan, was there.
Hell yeah. Love that.
Leanne, our biggest fan, was there. She talked about motherfucking share time. She loves her shout outs. She really does. She's like, I kind of skip through Vanderpump because I don't watch it, but like you always come to Survivor, so I'm always there.
I mean, she's not missing much by skipping out on Vanderpump, so it's fine.
I know, that's what I told her. I was like, you're fine. I was like, I would skip it too if I could.
Most of the time it's like 5 minutes. Like, yeah, nothing happened this week, so whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, so Leanne was there. Shout out Leanne.
Love Leanne.
Yeah, we love her. She's our biggest fan. And Keenan was hilarious because he comes home and he was like, no, she's a fan. Like, she's a fan of yours.
She's not your friend anymore. She is a fan.
Like, yeah, like she might be my mom's best friend. She might be my friend. Like, that might all be like the case, but she's 100% a fan of the podcast. She was saying to me that she listens to it while she's like cleaning and doing other things in the house and stuff. It's like her white noise. I'm like, that's amazing. Like, goal in life is to be people's white noise because Buffy the Vampire Slayer is my white noise and I hold that to a very high standard. So like 1 in 1.
Yeah. Like, you can still be entertaining and be white noise. Like, most of the stuff I listen to, like, I love. It's just I've seen it so many times, like I just keep it in the background.
Buffy.
Yeah.
Buffy. And like you still laugh at the things, like the episode Bad Beer of Buffy the Vampire Slayer still cracks me up because she like turns into a cave woman and she's the Slayer, but she's a cave woman. And so Giles comes in and says, Buffy, like you can't be watching TV. And she looks at him like pissed. And she goes, Buffy strong. And he goes,
fucking Tarzan ass show. Okay.
He's like, Buffy very strong. Like fear. It was hilarious. But yeah, no. That's what this feels like. That like Buffy strong is what I feel like on Drunkcast.
Laura drunk.
Tyler, what's your motherfucking share time? Get me the fuck out of here.
Okay, so I know I've definitely told like you and Stephanie like off air and stuff like that. I don't know if I've ever actually said on the show, but my backyard is a nature preserve. So like I see a bunch of
I
like
don't think
weird.
you've ever fucking told us that.
I swear I have.
Maybe Stephanie knows because maybe you've said the place, but San Antonio, like where you're from, like means nothing to me. So maybe like that's what it
Well,
was.
this also wasn't here whenever she lived down here, so she doesn't
Oh,
know
okay,
either.
great. Yeah, so she doesn't know either.
Okay, well, so
You
yeah,
might have like said the place, but you've never like said it was a national preserve.
Oh, okay. Well, anyways, yeah, my backyard is a nature preserve. So like I just see like weird animals and shit. Like there's a walking stick on my door one time. I had an armadillo in my yard. Like it's just kind of a thing. It's fine with me.
Okay, so armadillos in Texas, is that like hand in hand? Like, are there a ton there really?
I mean, I'm sure there are. I'd never seen one like in my yard before. Like I'd
Okay.
seen them like in like more like remote areas and stuff like that, like the more like rural kind of stuff. But like
Okay.
here, I'd never seen one until the night I had one in my yard.
That makes sense to me because like where I grew up is like in the middle of the woods, so I see deer in my backyard all the time.
Yeah, that's the one thing I haven't seen yet. I've heard coyotes.
I live
I
in the
think
middle
I
of like
almost hit one day actually.
yeah, but like
But
armadillos go with like Texas area,
yeah,
deer go with like New Jersey woods,
I mean, like we have them
like
here.
Bambi.
Yeah, I I mean, I feel like we'd probably have them like more often than y'all, just because it's like it's warmer here. So
I've never seen an armadillo in my life. I actually do not know if New Jersey holds armadillos.
I meant deer.
Welcome to Drunkcast.
I don't think y'all have armadillos.
No. No,
But
we fucking don't.
but yeah, so I'm just used to like weird animals at this point. It's fine. It's a thing. And then this was like years ago, but I remember like reading something about like scorpions being native here, and I've seen them out and about and stuff. But apparently
Scorpions
sometimes
terrify me.
yeah, believe me.
How long
They
does it take to die from a scorpion sting? Like 8 hours? It feels like 8 hours.
that I don't know. I know one guy who's been stung by one and he was fine. Like he like rushed to like the like nurse or medic whatever. But I mean, he's still alive now. So like it's fine. I guess it kind of depends on the scorpion.
Depends on where you are, the scorpion. Like if
Yeah.
you're like hiking and you get like here's what I think, right?
Mhm.
You're hiking. You get stung by a scorpion, you get bit by a rattlesnake, and you're out in the middle of the wilderness, you're dead.
Yeah, that's pretty good chance.
Yeah. That's why I
But
don't go hiking.
I don't blame you. The world is awful. Don't go out there.
That's what I'm saying. Like fuck insects.
But yeah, so I remember reading like years ago, like I think I was in like middle school or something like that, about scorpions like liking dark places and stuff like that. So people have like had them in their shoes and they just like go to put their shoe on, they get stung by a fucking scorpion. So that's been a fear of mine for most of my adult life.
Do you check your shoes every time? Because I would.
I did for a while.
I
I've
would.
stopped and now I'm getting there again.
I
Because
have a really funny story.
Okay.
So I'm terrified of clowns.
Mhm.
Like petrified. Like I mean, it's not even funny how afraid I am of clowns. Like my friends have like pulled pranks on me with like clowns, and then they see how terrified I am, and then they feel bad.
They should.
Like that's how afraid I am. Like I get like my heart's racing like talking about them.
I get it.
Yeah. There's just something about them. I don't really like mascots either. Like anything that I can't like tell what your face is, like kind of freaks me out. Like I'm
Yeah.
not a fan of Halloween. Like I don't go to Halloween parties because I don't know who people are.
How do you feel about the whole like facial distortion stuff? Like if you see like a picture of somebody and like their face is just like blurred and like weird looking.
That's fine.
Okay. So it's not that
Like if
bad.
like we're talking about like true crimes where like their face is blurred out, that's fine.
Not necessarily that. I don't know how to describe it. I knew somebody who was like afraid of like distorted faces and stuff. I'm I don't experience it, so I don't know like
Yeah.
what bothers them, but
It might
I
be
just know something like
honestly
that.
like I'm paranoid, and if you're gonna murder me, I want to know who you are.
Okay, yeah, makes sense.
So
I can't tell anybody, but I want to know.
right. So why was I telling you the story? Shit.
I don't know. We went from scorpions to you being afraid of clowns. So,
Yeah, what was the story? What story did I start with?
well, I mean, I'd mentioned like checking my shoes for scorpions and stuff, and
Right,
then
I'm here again. So
this is great.
so I have been afraid of clowns my entire life, right? So I am watching. This is like when like I'm old. So this is when like TV Guide, you're old too, so you get it. But
Yeah.
this is when TV Guide is the station, and you watch it
Mhm.
and it goes through all the stations. This is how I watched Fear for the first time. Things like this, right? Because I saw Wahlberg and I thought it was Donnie Wahlberg because I'm a fan of New Kids on the Block, and then it ended up being Mark Wahlberg, and that's how that happened. Anyway, I didn't feel like sitting on that station. So I'm just going through stations, and I stop on the station because it looks like a cute little wholesome movie. Keep that in mind.
I'm
So I'm
excited to see
watching
where
it.
this goes.
I'm watching it. No big deal, whatever. And all of a sudden, this kid's in the shower. And if you've ever seen the movie, you know exactly where the fuck I'm going. The kid's in the shower, and he's taking a shower after gym class. And all of a sudden, this little hand pops out of the drain. And then all of a sudden the drain moves, and all of a sudden the clown comes out. It's fucking the old movie It. And I watched the clown come out. I watched the clown talk to the little kid because I'm paralyzed in fear, because that's how afraid of clowns I am. I'm paralyzed in fear, and I'm watching it going, oh my God, how the fuck did I get here? What the fuck is going on, right? And all of a sudden, clown gets scary teeth, clown eats kid, fear of clowns heightened, right? So now what do I do? Now what do I do? Now I'm freaked the fuck out, right? I'm like fucking like, when I tell you like 13 years old, I'm fucking scared in my mind. What do I do? Every time I'm in the shower for the next like 3 fucking years, and that's not an exaggeration. Like I wish it was. It's not. I'm watching the shower drain. Sometimes to this day, it makes a weird noise, and I look.
Just run out of the shower.
I used to, when I tell you I had like, when I first watched it, I had like a little, like, because it was like a door.
Mhm.
So I had like a little like space out of the door that like if a hand did come out, I'm the fuck out. I'm out.
That's incredible.
Yeah. I had to tell the story because as soon as he said the trauma of the shoe, I was like, I have trauma.
I mean, I feel like mine's a little bit more realistic, but I'm
Mine's
not going
fucking
to take that away from
Pennywise.
you. Yeah. So anyway,
I've never seen the new It, and I refuse to.
I saw some of part 1. I
It's
think.
way more true to the book because
Yeah.
like my cousin's husband read the book. So
Mhm.
I know about what happens in the actual book. It's way more true to the book.
Yeah. Well, the
They
first
even
one was
have that
just like a
creepy scene.
90-minute like TV movie or something like that, right? The Tim Curry one.
No, it was 2 parts. So it was 2 90-minute movies, and it was 2 parts.
The Tim
Because it
Curry
was
one.
when, yeah, because it was when they're kids,
Mhm.
and then it's also when they're adults.
Yeah, I thought that was the new movies. I thought the first one was just one movie.
It was definitely 2 parts with 90 minutes, because I definitely think that's what happened.
The newer ones
No,
or
the
the old
older
one?
ones.
Okay.
Because I
I
remember
could be wrong, but
someone telling me that at another part, in the second part where they're the adults, and maybe that's where I'm getting confused. Because they're so in it, like they're the kids, and then they grow up, and then they're the adults. So maybe
yeah,
when they said second part to me, that's what they meant.
I don't know.
Never watched it all the way through.
Yeah,
I've
never seen any of them. So
yeah. So Anyway,
So
that's my
anyway.
trauma.
So the other night, I come home. I came home from work, and like I'd been in my kitchen earlier and stuff to like put stuff away or whatever. Go like sit on my couch, watch TV for a little bit, and I'm like, you know what? I'm a little hungry, so I go to make food. Turn on the light in my kitchen. Just a scorpion just hanging
No.
out in my
No.
fucking kitchen.
No, no, no.
I
Nope, nope,
don't
nope.
know if it was dead or not. I don't know how it would have been because it looked flat already.
What
And
did you do?
I don't like. Well, I just kind of like I have a broom in my kitchen, so I got that, opened up the back door, and I just kind of like
Sweeped
slapshotted
it
it out.
outside.
Yeah, not even swept. I took a fucking hockey, just and just
That's
took
a
it out
great
of there.
idea. It's a great idea.
I don't know if it was alive. Don't know if it was dead. It was just there in the middle of my kitchen. I'm just like, you need
Nope.
to get out of here. And so now I'm just like, how long have they been here?
Yeah. Like now you're wondering, like, see, so this happened with me and Keenan. We had like one of those, like, I don't know if it was around the cruise, and neither does he, but it was like a big spider.
Spiders
And
I'm more okay with, but
not
it's
me. And
yeah.
so he he killed it underneath one of our dressers.
Mhm.
And ever since I've been like, can you look under the dressers to make sure that there's no like spiders before we go to bed? Things stick with me. Trauma.
Yeah. I don't know, like spiders, like I'm cool with them because like I know they do more good than they do harm. Like they're not really gonna bite you unless you give them a reason
Yeah.
to. And so like I kind of let them be and stuff like that. But
Yummy.
if you're in my way and like I'm trying to get rid of you, but you won't like cooperate, like you're gonna die. Like you're on my territory. I'm sorry.
For me, I send Keenan and say, you gotta kill it right now. I don't. You gotta protect the dog.
Yeah, no spiders. I try to be like, look, I need to get you out of here.
I
Roaches, I'll
did
kill.
find out on TikTok, someone got bit by a brown recluse spider. I did find out that it takes you like a good like 2 days to actually die from like a spider bite like that.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
they
And there's a
don't.
lot of warning signs, and like you pretty much like know.
Yeah, they're not as deadly as like everybody makes them out to be. Like black widows, you're not going to die immediately. Like
Yeah.
most people don't even die at all. Same with brown recluses. Like it's more the infection that you die from than the actual
Yeah.
spider bite. So as long as
Yeah,
you
like
like,
you do have to go to the hospital and you do have to get antibiotics. The person said that their finger, like the top of their finger swelled up like 3 sizes and it was like red and whatever. But she didn't even go to the hospital. She's talking to a regular doctor.
yeah. I mean, you could probably just go to like a fucking minor ER and be like, yeah, I was bit by a spider. And they're like, okay, well, take this and you're good.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know the original lead
Not like that with
guitarist of,
snakes.
yeah, no, snakes you don't fuck with.
You're dead.
Yeah.
And you want to know what I found out? Only like a couple places have certain anti-venom
Mhm.
for certain like snakes that aren't common, but they
Yeah.
only have a certain amount of anti-venom because it's not profitable for the pharmaceutical companies to be making the anti-venom.
American healthcare system, baby.
I know. They actually have a rule that forces them to actually make it, so we have it on hand.
Great, isn't it? Capitalism.
How insane is that?
Absolutely fucking insane.
It's fucking insane. And half of them have to come to like New York, so you have to like ground ship them and hope that you survive that long. I'm sure they would like transport it in like one of the things that they do with like the little like fucking hearts and shit, whatever those fucking are, the organs.
Yeah, the coolers.
Those are.
But what's it? What were we talking about before?
Your
yeah,
motherfucking share time.
Yeah, well, we were talking about like spider bites and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
The original lead guitarist of Slayer got bit by some kind of spider, and like I guess like didn't realize it right away or something like that until he had a what's it called? Like where your skin's just fucking dying. Like necrosis, something.
Yeah.
And like he never fucking like recovered from that shit. Like he couldn't play guitar
die?
anymore because of it. Yeah, not not from the spider bite. He died from like liver cirrhosis because he
Oh,
he was
so
already like a
like,
drinker, but like just not being able to
do
play.
they have
Like
to take his like finger?
no, they didn't. They didn't have to like take anything. It was just like I guess it just got so bad to where like his muscles just like never recovered, so he couldn't play like as extensively as he would and stuff like that.
That's
Like he popped
insane.
in for like a few more shows like after, but he never like toured with them or anything like that.
That's
And so
insane.
yeah, and then eventually he just died from liver cirrhosis because he was probably just so fucking depressed that he couldn't play anymore and
Yeah.
shit. So
Yeah. Like you already have a problem and now you can't do the one thing that you like.
yeah. So
Ugh.
there, it's not as serious, but it's still pretty fucking bad.
Yeah.
So
That's insane.
if you see weird shit, get yourself checked out, people. Like
Yeah. Go to the hospital right away. Don't
yeah,
talk to your fucking doctor on the phone
this
while
coming
your
from the guy
fingers
who
three.
just like ignores problems until they go away. But you know,
Yeah, I know, me too. I have Crohn's disease, so I'm like, I don't go to the hospital. They're like, as soon as you say you have Crohn's disease, no matter what else it is, they're like, I don't want to touch her.
really?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. I don't know. Apparently, this is a thing that happens to a lot of people, and apparently, like, nobody ever talks about it. But apparently, like, I've said, like, oh, I have Crohn's disease, and, like, if I have, like, abdominal pain, they do not want to go anywhere near me. Like, I had a kidney stone, and they wouldn't go anywhere near me until I got a CAT scan.
Could it be just because like they don't know how you're gonna react to anything that they give you? Like, is that part of it?
No, because I can't take NSAIDs, and the hospital that I went to, like, last time gave me fucking an NSAID. And I'm telling them I have Crohn's disease. And, like, the biggest thing that you are not supposed to give somebody with Crohn's disease is an NSAID. It causes inflammation in your stomach, which triggers Crohn's disease. So, like, I can only take acetaminophen, which is like Tylenol.
Yeah.
And so I'm telling them this, and they give me a fucking. So they don't know. They don't care. They
Yeah.
just don't want to
Well,
touch you.
yeah. I mean, it's like with my dad, he's a diabetic, and during like November of 2020, like both my parents got COVID because they lived together, and like they went to the hospital, got checked out, and all that, and they're like, yeah, like you have COVID, and like they gave them both steroids, and like I said, my dad's diabetic, so they didn't give him like anything to like counteract that part.
Oh, are you kidding me?
I'm not kidding. And so like on my birthday, my dad
As
like
someone who was on steroid for 3 years, I'm
yeah.
I'm not diabetic, and I had issues.
hmm Like on my birthday, I wake up to like a phone call from my mom. Like she's like just fucking crying and shit like that. And she's like, "Hey, I just took your dad to the hospital. Like
Tell me
he
this.
woke up and like he wasn't making any sense and stuff like that. And I don't know what's going on. Like I just kind of dropped him off, but I can't go in because like I have COVID too." And so like we just had no idea what the fuck was going on aside from his like broken ass text because he doesn't know what the fuck's going on either. And he's
And
like
it's not
all
like they're telling him
lethargic and
anything.
shit. Yeah. And so he like just all day on my birthday, I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? Like, is my dad gonna die? And like it took like all day before like they're like, yeah, his blood sugar was just fucking spiked because
Yeah.
he's on a steroid and he didn't have anything to counteract that. It's like,
I had
oh,
issues.
cool. Like I'm glad y'all are fucking paying attention to what he's telling you.
Oh my god, that's horrible.
Yeah, it was a great time.
And that's, like, basic. It's not even anything to do with COVID, like, that's just
Yeah.
basic.
Yeah, it's like you give a diabetic a steroid that's gonna fucking spike his blood sugar. It's like, yeah,
Yeah,
give him something to fucking counteract that shit.
and,
My
like, the
cousin's a
worst
nurse,
thing
and
is,
like
like,
she was
that
fucking
steroid makes you
pissed.
hungry.
Yeah. Ugh,
Oh my god. American healthcare system.
it's great. Love it. We're
Love it
doing
over
so
here. It
good.
took me 28 years to get diagnosed with Crohn's disease.
It took you going to a different country to get diagnosed with Crohn's.
Kristen brought that up too at the fucking party. And she was like, what you guys have to understand is we thought that she was just having a regular cold, like we all were. Like we were all walking around in the rain and whatever. And so all of us didn't really have a lot of patience for her. Because it was like, we're all sick. And then Kristen's like, and then we find out that she has Crohn's disease, and that's really what was going on, and all of us feel bad. Because, like, the things that you thought in your head for a minute, like, apparently, like, everybody feels bad about it.
If it makes you feel any better, I was empathetic.
Thank you.
I was just like, man, that sucks. Like,
Listen.
you're on vacation. You can't enjoy it. Like,
Yeah. And that's the other thing. Everybody was empathetic. Like, Robin was super empathetic. Like, Robin was probably better than Kristen, and I said that to her. Like, Kristen was like, suck it up. And Robin was like, no, girl, you're like sick. Like, Kristen, like, I said to Kristen that I was pretty sure Robin was the first one to start noticing my color was off.
Yeah.
Like, I'm pretty sure you did too.
You were pretty pale whenever you got there. So, like, it's kind of hard to tell, like, your color's off.
But I was like gray and translucent. Like, I was like,
yeah, you looked pretty bad.
Like, you see some of those photos of me on the actual Oktoberfest day, and it's like, oh, she was like not good.
Yeah, especially like compared to now, where like I'm seeing you on like a weekly basis. Like,
so you see me
to, like,
normal.
whenever I first met you. Yeah.
You see me normal.
Yeah, like it was pretty bad. Like, I could tell it wasn't just like a normal cold.
And some people could tell that. Like, Robin, Shayna actually took me away from Kristen for a little while to calm me down. She's like, it's okay. Like, you don't feel good. Just calm down. We'll hang out here for a little bit and then it'll be fine. And Kristen was like, I was ready to leave Kristen in Amsterdam. That's how sick I felt. I didn't.
Figure this shit out. I'm gone.
Yeah. And like, after she found out I had Crohn's disease, she's like, I mean, I get it, but I would have still been really pissed at you.
At least she's honest.
Yeah. No, it all worked out. I'm fine now.
Yeah.
Drink Prosecco. I don't drink often.
Should we get into like the actual shows now?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because we've been sitting here for a long time. Half of it's going to get cut out, but...
Yeah.
All right. Let's get into our show. I haven't seen Vanderpump in like a week. So we're going to see how that goes.
Again,
they start...
Nothing happened, so...
Yeah, they start in San Francisco, and Lala's being an asshole to Dan. Like, grilling the shit out of him. And, like, grilling the shit out of him.
I mean, I wouldn't say she was being an asshole.
I was fine with it. A lot of people weren't, but I was fine with it. Like, Sarah grills people like that all the time. Yeah, like, I think it was more so Lala had concerns and was just talking to him, trying to, like, feel him out. And I think it was really her being a friend, like, more than anything that she's done this season.
Yeah, I didn't take it as her being an asshole. I've thought of it as, like, the way my friends would just talk to anybody I'm seeing and stuff like that. It's just like,
especially because, like,
what are you doing?
Yeah, especially because, like, okay, put yourself in Lala's shoes for a second, right? Let's be empathetic people. Let's put ourselves in Lala's shoes for a second. You are friends with Ariana. Like, you are friends with Ariana. Like, that is your girl, and you've said it, and you know that she is. And you might be mad at her, but that's still your friend. Mm-hmm. And it is a little weird that this guy, after knowing everything and Sandoval happens, 4 months later, you guys are dating.
Yeah.
That is weird. And if you are her friend, you do kind of grill him a little bit.
Yeah. Like, it was a fucking high profile breakup. Like,
yeah. Exactly.
Know. Like, even if you don't know, like, if you haven't watched all 10 seasons up to that point or whatever,
you still know
like,
Sandoval.
You still heard about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was fucking national news and shit. Like, it was.
Sarah is watching Vanderpump Rules because of Sandoval.
Yeah. That's why I fucking watched it.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. People were calling Lala an asshole in that moment, and I was like, she was actually being more of a friend to her than she has been all season.
Yeah. Later on, she's an asshole. Not right now.
Yes.
But.
Man. That Prosecco. Guys, I don't drink much. I don't know if you can tell. Everybody, like our 2 fans that actually watch us in Utah. Yeah, we can tell. One of them's in Virginia. There's somebody in Virginia that watches us all the time.
There's somebody in like fucking Africa that watches us all the time.
I hope I would die if that person in Africa is like a American transplant from like one of our other like fans, and like their job moved them to like Africa. That's the only reason.
God, I want to pull up the map right now. I'm not gonna, just because I don't want to like fuck with anything. But like,
Yeah,
we get weird fucking continents and countries.
we
that are
get people
watching
from
us.
Germany, and I think it's because we talk about our Germany stories.
Probably the algorithm's
Yeah.
just kind of like throwing that in there.
Yeah, because like everyone, we'll get them, and it's like, what? I think people in other countries actually listen to us like a decent amount.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like David Hasselhoff. After Baywatch, he had no career in the United States until SpongeBob.
Yeah. Big in Germany though.
Big in Germany. Big in like somewhere else too. Oh, it's somewhere else. That's
That
gonna
I
hurt.
think-
Anyway, David Hasselhoff is big in other countries anyway. So fast forward to the fucking party, because that's all that matters, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the finale party. That's
The rest
what that
of the
was.
episode was garbage. It's fine.
Yeah. So let's just fast forward. And Sheena is there and she's doing her little sing song, and
Her little sing song.
it felt right. Because what can we say that she's really doing?
I'm trying to think what I've heard that from. Like, there's something I've fucking listened to where like
I hope I heard it from something, and like that's where like I've gotten that phrase from. Because I say that all the time. Sing song. She's doing a little sing song.
I don't know where I've heard it. I know I've heard it before though.
It feels so
It's-
sassy.
Yeah, it's like my context for it is like someone pretending to be like foreign, and they're
Yeah.
just like, oh yeah, it's a sing song.
But like for Sheena, like when I say it like that, it's like, Sheena, like you don't sing. Like what do you really
Yeah.
do? Like it's like you're singing your little song. Like
I've never sound checked before in my life. You've never performed in your life.
yeah, like and then
It's
like
kind
you
of a
like
big part.
show what happened on the bar. Like your
Ah.
emo night good as gold shit.
Yeah.
So anyway, she's like, oh, he's so nice because he sent me his sound guy. And like, it's like, okay, so you like him because he spends money on you.
He had an XLR cable when I needed one. Like, okay. Like that's a
So he
musician
spends money
thing.
on you. Didn't they also say that he sent them money during COVID?
Yeah, like she said something about like I had no like money coming in and he sent me like $1,000, no questions asked or whatever. And it's like,
Yeah.
okay.
For my rent or something. And it's like,
And the part that annoyed me most was like she's saying something about him being nice to her and shit like that, and she's like, but you know, that's just me making it about me. Like takes a sip of her
yeah.
drink. I'm
And
like,
then starts
"It is you
sipping
making
it in
about
the
you!"
interview. She goes, but I don't know, that's just me making it about me.
Yeah.
And it's like, you do make everything about you, bitch.
Yeah. It's exactly what it is.
Like you thought that's what you've done this whole Sandoval.
Mm-hmm.
You made a song about it, and it was okay that you made a song about it. Just say that you want Ariana to have a conversation with Tom because it makes you money.
Yeah. Like the weird thing about all of this is like, you know, in the like confessionals and stuff like that, you have people being like, yeah, you know, I wish like they could have a conversation and like really discuss things and stuff like that. But
It's
every
4
time
months.
but every time you see them interact with Tom, Like, none of them are making eye contact. They're very fucking short with him. It's like, are you
She
really forgiving him, or is this the producers telling you, like, yeah, we want to make this look like it's kind of a thing?
Yeah. But, like, here's what's dawning on me as you're saying this. She has had conversations with him,
Mhm.
like, one-on-one and she's, like, screamed in his face.
Yeah.
Was that not enough?
I, she went so
Was that not
fucking back and
enough?
forth, like, all season. Like, she would have a conversation with him and, like, forgive him, and then, like, the next moment, she's just
No, I
like,
mean Ariana.
"Oh. Oh, okay, yeah." I mean, she
Ariana
did.
did have she screamed in his face. That's
Yeah.
any conversation you have with Ariana and Tom right now is gonna end with Ariana screaming in his face. And I think I saw a clip of James saying that in, like, the after show. I don't watch it, and I don't think you do. Stephanie usually does.
I watched the
And
first few, and then I just kinda
yeah,
gave
and
up.
same with me, but Stephanie usually watches it, and she usually says the stuff about it, so I miss her today. And and I'm pretty sure I saw a clip of, like, James saying, like, what was it? Oh, shit. What were we saying again? And maybe it'll jog it.
Something about Ariana screaming in Tom's face every
Yeah,
conversation they
okay.
have.
There it is. So I knew it. So he was saying, um, that, like, any conversation that Ariana had with Tom was only gonna make Tom look good because she was gonna scream in his face again, and it was gonna
Yeah.
give to her villain edit, and that's why she refused to do it. And
Mhm.
it's like, how come DJ James Kennedy is the most, like, sane one of you all?
It's so fucking weird. Like, I still refuse to, like, accept it. Like, I've seen it.
I love
I
it.
know it's a thing,
I've
but I'm
always
just
been
like,
his apologist, and you know
I
it.
yeah, I know you have. But I'm
I
just like,
feel vindicated in this moment.
you definitely are. I
Yeah.
s I still refuse to believe it because I mean, I
He was a
feel like
piece of
I know
shit.
him. Yeah, he was a piece of shit.
Like,
Like,
I'm his apologist, but, like, I have always said it was the alcohol. Think about
it
his
definitely
family
was.
issues with alcohol, and as soon as he's done with alcohol, as soon as he's sober, like, even when he was sober with Raquel, he's a completely different person.
Oh, yeah. No, it's definitely the alcohol, but
Yeah,
it's just I mean, he still has his moments even, like, sober where he's
because he's
just
still a funny little asshole.
yeah, and I love him for that, but
Right,
it doesn't mean I want him to be the voice of reason.
right. Like, when James is the voice of reason, it's like, "What are you all doing?"
Things are bad.
Like, you guys would hope that Stassi comes back because that at least gives you a better look that she's the voice of reason.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so they're also at the party, and Joe comes up apologizing to Katie, expecting an apology back. Like, she apologized to Katie expecting an apology back, and Katie didn't give her one, and she cried about it.
Yeah, Joe is Tom Sandoval.
Yeah,
Like, it's the same exact thing, like, I'll
I
come to
do
you
not
and
feel
say
bad for
this.
Joe.
No, I don't either. Like, people don't owe anybody apologies.
No,
If
no.
like, you can go apologize and shit, but don't expect one in return just because you did. Like, that's
Yeah,
not how this works. It's a
that's not how it
genuine
works.
thing.
Yeah. If you're genuinely sorry, okay, you can say sorry to me, but that
Yeah,
doesn't mean I'm sorry for like, what did Katie have to be sorry about?
fucking nothing.
Nothing.
Oh, I made you uncomfortable. Like, I'm not
Get
gonna
over
fucking
it.
be sorry about that shit.
Get over it.
You were talking to my fucking ex-husband before we were even actually divorced. Like,
And then my best friend Ariana is still with Tom Sandoval, and you're going out on double dates with Tom and Rachel and not saying
mhm.
anything to anybody.
Yeah. I thought they were already broken up. It's like, you would have fucking known if they were
You
broken up.
knew. You knew, Joe. And like that's the thing. She's coming out now and like she like had some like TikTok or some like Instagram live and she's all pissy about Tom because he's like gaslighting her and like blocked her and all this stuff. I don't really know. I don't pay attention to what Joe does.
Yeah, nobody
And
should.
so that's the gist of what I've gotten. And yeah, I'm sitting here going like, Joe, you saw how he broke up with you on national television.
Mhm.
Like, what did you think was going to happen? And she's like, I understand why like Katie's so upset with him. And he's like,
Yeah.
and it's like, I don't feel bad for you.
Yeah.
Because like, here's the thing. If she came out and she said, I went on these double dates And it's because Tom Schwartz asked me to not say anything, and that's my boyfriend. Like, I can't physically sit here and say that if something like that happened and Keenan said, "Can you please not say anything because such and such is my friend and I really need you to not say anything." I
Yeah.
can't say that I wouldn't not say anything because my boyfriend asked me to. Could I be in the same room as her? Absolutely not. Could I
Yeah.
talk to her? Absolutely not.
Absolutely
I'd
not.
never look at her in the eye.
Yeah.
I'd never look at her again. But I can't say that I wouldn't keep that secret from my boyfriend.
Yeah.
And if she had come out and said that, it would be a completely different story.
Mhm. We all would have had a little bit more respect for her than we do now.
Because we get it. Like, I
Yeah.
can't say that I wouldn't keep a secret that my boyfriend of 5 years is asking me to do.
Yeah. But just to,
Say, "Oh, I didn't know that they were broken up and I didn't ask."
yeah. And to have documented evidence over 9 fucking years about how this guy that I'm seeing has been with his ex, and to be like, "Oh no, it's gonna be different with me." Like, no. Like,
No.
this
And
guy
he's
spent money
dogging
to
you
be
for the
married to
new
her.
girl.
Yeah.
He's just like he did Katie and you. Like,
Yep.
he's a weasel and he's always going to be.
Mhm.
The only thing good about him was Katie.
Mhm. I agree. Fucking love Katie.
I love Katie. Everybody loves Katie.
As they should.
Everybody, if you were not a Katie fan, they have come around to Katie because Katie is the only one that has not switched up. She's the only one sitting there at lunch going like, "Fuck the guy."
Yep.
What did she say? She's like, "If a guy fucks over your friend, fuck the guy."
Yeah.
Who is this guy to you in comparison to Ariana? Sheena, you sit here and say that Ariana's your best friend. Who the fuck is this guy in comparison to Ariana?
Yeah.
She's not your best friend if you're going to pick him over her. So stop saying that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sitting here thinking about Sarah, right? And if some guy dogs Sarah, it's like, go fuck yourself. Like, I still follow some of Sarah's exes because, like, I want to keep tabs on them just in case,
Yeah.
you know? But, like, she knows. She's like, "You don't have to. I don't care." And I'm like, "I care."
And like, my whole thing about this whole ending and like Sheena saying like, "Oh, like Ariana's being unreasonable and stuff like that." It's like she straight up said like, "I'm gonna let you be friends with him. I just don't want to hear about anything about him."
And he's
Like,
not going to have access to me. Like,
yeah,
we're not going to be as close. Like,
yeah.
you're not going to know personal information about me.
Mhm. Like she straight up said like, even if he is like changing or whatever, I don't want to hear about it. Like, I love you, like you're still my friend and stuff like that, but I don't want to hear about it. That's all she
Yeah.
fucking asked.
Yeah.
And then of
I
course
mean,
fucking
when
Sandoval has
she's
to come around at that moment and
I
shit
know.
like that.
And
But
when she's standing there having that conversation with Sheena, you can see on her face that she's recognizing that, like, she's lost her friend
yeah.
to, like, a manipulator.
Hmm.
And, like, I would just want to say, like, in one of Ariana's interviews, she's, like, saying stuff, and it's like, I think after she yelled at the producer of, like, "I'm not going to be your cog in the wheel," she's yelling at production. She's not yelling at anybody else.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically, Tom Sandoval is trying to do his little Tom Sandoval redemption arc. He walks over to Dan and like talks to him and like tries to shake his hand, and Dan is just like, I love him. I love Dan. Dan's energy
Yeah. He's
is
fucking great.
everything. Like, I'm sorry, but like Dan didn't really want to be on the show. He's only on the show because he's with Ariana.
Yeah.
And it reads. Like, it reads that. Like, he's only there when Ariana asks him to be. Like, he's
Mhm.
not doing this for any other reason. Like, if she left Vanderpump tomorrow, he wouldn't care either way.
Yeah. He gave non-answers like every fucking time he's been on camera. He's like, "Oh, well, what are you gonna do if Sandoval walks in here right now?" He's like, I don't know.
He
Like, I
can keep
don't
his
care."
handshake.
Yeah. He's like, "I know what he did to her. Like, I know how he is. Like,
Yeah.
he's
I thought that was
nothing to
such a
me."
good answer. When they
Yeah.
were like, "Oh, like, what are you like? How do you feel about him?" And he's like, "I don't know him personally, so I can't really say anything, but I know what he's done, and that's enough for me."
Hmm.
Great answer.
Dan's a good
Great.
guy. I love him.
I like Dan. I feel like this was like the first time. Like, I know that we saw him in the San Francisco trip, but I feel like that was so like condensed
Yeah.
that this was like when we really got to see him, and when he was like, "I'm not gonna shake your hand, dog."
Yeah. And like like that whole trip, like he wasn't a part of anything.
Yeah.
Like he popped up like in the hotel room and stuff like that, but he wasn't
Yeah. He
involved
was
with
there for
anybody
Ariana.
until yeah. He was with Ariana and like Lala just kind of came into the room and that was like the most interaction we had.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Because he wasn't there for the cameras.
yeah. He's just there
And,
for the trip.
Allie also kind of reads like that too, if you think about it. Like, Allie's like, she's there, but she's only there when she has to be.
Yeah.
Like, I'm dating James, and that's when I'm here. Like, the
Yeah.
only reason that she had such a big part is because she saw them dancing at the Abbey, and she was the only one who said anything.
Yeah. And like she was employed at Sir, right?
No, she was not. Allie's never been employed by Sir. They met at, like, a bar somewhere.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
Allie
right.
is never I'm sure of that. Like, Stephanie's not here to confirm, but, like, I'm almost
Yeah,
positive.
no, like you're right. Like
Yeah.
yeah, she has no fucking reason to be on this show. Like she's just
No.
there. Maybe that's why I like her so much.
Probably. And Brock's just an asshole, so that's why we didn't take to him the same.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so I mean, they really thought that we were gonna buy this Tom Sandoval redemption arc.
I don't know if they did just because of those 3 lines at the end of the
At
episode
the
that we were
end,
talking
yeah,
about
we'll get to
earlier.
that. So we'll get to that in 1 second. Sheena sings her song. She then goes like, "I'm gonna join the band with you guys, right?" And like, that's so fucking cringy.
They did not want her to be a part of
They
that.
did not
They're
want
just
her.
like, yeah, like the cameras are here and we feel like we have
Yeah.
to oblige this. Like, yeah, you're part of the band. Yeah.
Yeah, great. And then we have Ariana and Sheena have their conversation, which we've gone into a little bit and like talked about. But I just want to say Ariana's a nicer person than me because I would have probably left that conversation and never spoken to Sheena again.
Yeah. Like, I mean, we all know like Ariana's like empathetic and stuff like that.
I
Like
know.
she
She's so much
she
nicer than me.
understands. Like she knows like, you were friends with Tom before, like I knew him and stuff like that. And like it makes sense. Like it'd be a little harder for you. I don't want to
Honestly,
hear about him. That's all she said.
yeah. Honestly, I feel like if they approached her in like, let's say 6 more months from now, so it'll be like almost 2 years after the whole thing happened, I think that these would be completely different conversations.
Yeah. I mean, they showed it like in that moment too. Like they had like the time lapses of like I think maybe Ariana said like I never said I'd stop being somebody's friend or whatever. And then they showed like 6 months ago where she's like, yeah, like
Yeah,
she's telling Schwartz like you're his friend,
I
like I don't
get
want anything to
fucked,
do with
yeah.
you. And then like a month after that or like a month before that or whatever, she was just like I don't want to hear about him. Like it
Yeah,
showed her like progressively being a little bit more
less
lenient.
mad.
Yeah. She just doesn't want to deal with him directly. That's all it
Yeah,
was.
yeah. And I really think that, like, if Sheena has this conversation with her in 6 more months, it would be a completely different thing. She'd be
Definitely.
like, "Just don't talk to me about him, don't talk to him about me." And I think that
Mhm.
she trusts Sheena enough to know that she's not gonna talk to him about her,
Mhm. She
you
still
know?
follows Sheena, so,
Yeah.
like
Like, the only one that has a problem is fucking Lala, so
yeah.
Um, so basically, Sandoval ends up ambushing Ariana after she's talking to Dan,
Tries
and
to.
is basically like, "Can we have a conversation?" And she's like, "No, fuck
Just
off."
just walks away.
And as she said in her interview, she said, "When we got back from San Francisco, I'm in the kitchen and he's in the living room, and he didn't say a single word to me. He could have apologized to me then, and he didn't. He wanted to do it on camera, and I'm not gonna be his whatever." And she said something like, "I'm the final boss in his redemption arc video game,
Mhm.
and he can't get access to me, and he's pissed about it."
Yep.
And it's like, that's exactly what it is.
It's all just fucking performative, exactly as
Yeah,
she said.
yeah, completely. And then she's yelling at the producer. She's yelling at the producer and says, "Have you ever heard of, like, he didn't give a fuck with all these bitches that he was fucking with, that he was gonna give me some STDs or some shit. Have you ever heard of non-informed consent? Like, let's not get into that." And it's
Mhm.
like,
Fucking love Ariana. She's the best.
I know. But you wanna know what that makes me think? How many people did she find out about?
Well, I mean, we know of 2 for sure.
Yep. But how many other people has she found out about where she's like, "You're fucking around and you might give me an STD"?
Yep.
Because I don't think she meant that toward Rachel. I should think she meant that toward Tom.
Definitely did.
Mhm.
I don't even think she thinks about Rachel at all anymore. Like,
She doesn't. And honestly, it's because Rachel has made herself non-existent to her.
yeah,
Until this whole lawsuit thing came out, she was non-existent to her,
yeah. And like
which was the
even then,
way to
like
go. And then you decided to do this lawsuit and just fucked yourself, girl. Like,
Mhm,
Rachel, like, you were on the path that you should have been, and then you, like, reverted back, and it's like, go back into that place that told you to stop doing that shit.
mhm. Go back to rehab or something. Like, just
Oh my
don't be a
god.
part of this right now.
Because she was, like, really, like, crawling her way up.
Yep. Even if she had just done the podcast, like,
Yeah.
would have been fine. But I'm
We
sure she
weren't
saw
even,
that as,
like,
like, some
paying
promotion.
attention in, like, the fact of, like, I talk about Kate Riccio all the time.
Mhm.
I was watching her recap of her podcast because I wanted to give her my money, not fucking Rachel. But I was still
Yeah.
paying attention. And now I don't pay attention, and neither does she because she's like, fuck off.
Yeah. I am kind of excited to see, like, where this reunion goes just
Yeah.
because of, like I said, those last 3 lines.
So so it feels like to me, Sheena picks Tom in the middle of the Tom and okay. So Sheena and Lala, Sheena comes over after Ariana leaves.
Mhm.
She's like, "I'm leaving, fuck you," and leaves. Sheena then walks over to where Lala and everybody are. Lala starts going on a tirade about basically how I've never seen someone basically like God and Beyonce or something. I don't know. I didn't write down what Lala said because
It was, I've never seen someone get broken up with and then become God or something like that.
yeah. And it just reeked of jealousy
Mhm.
because of what happened with Randall. And I just need to say that, like, what Lala's not understanding is, like, this is why I didn't write down what she said, because I want to still like Lala. She's really on my nerves, but I remember who Lala used to be, and I just want to keep, like, remembering that, and hopefully, like, it's just
I'd like to think she's just a production plant for this season,
yeah,
but it's just not a
it's
good look,
hard.
and I
It's
don't
hard.
care.
It's hard.
Yeah.
Um, but it feels like she was willing to be, like, the cog in the redemption arc, and that's
Mhm.
why she's, like, gone down with the ship a little bit. So I wanna give her the benefit of the doubt so hard.
Let's see, does Ariana still follow her?
No, I don't think so. I think that's pretty dissolved, and I wouldn't blame them.
You go ahead and keep talking, but I wanna know, so
So, she has her whole thing, and the thing is, like, it reeks of jealousy, but, like, the thing that, like, Lala needs to understand is, like, you didn't introduce us to him until you guys were pretty much broken up, and then you told us how much of a shitty person he was, and as much as you don't wanna be called a mistress, that's what you were.
and,
Whether
like,
you
even
knew about the
go
wife or not, that's what you are. That's what
Mhm.
happened. Whether you were blind to that fact or not, that's what happened.
Yeah,
So we were introduced to Randall in a very different way. We also watched Ariana and Tom's entire relationship.
exactly. I was gonna say, like, Randall was in 1 season before everything
Yeah,
went down. We had
yeah.
9 fucking seasons of
And we
Tom
took to
Sandoval.
Randall. Like, we all took to Randall when we saw him when he was playing the pickleball tournament and everything. Like, we took to Randall when we first watched him.
He was a fun guy for a
Yeah,
little bit.
a little bit. Now we know why he was so fun.
Yeah.
And, like, we're not trying to take away from what you went through, and I think that's what she's also not getting, like, what you went through was something very different also from
Mhm.
what she's going through. Like, you were able to leave the house and pick up and leave and get away from the whole thing.
It was
She's
public
not.
in a very different way.
Yeah.
It was
Like,
public
we
in
know
her
that
life.
Randall's a piece of shit.
Yeah, but this was part of the show. It's very
Yeah,
different.
very different. Like, we watch them get together. We watch them be in a relationship. We watch them move in together. We watch them buy the house together. Like, we've watched them for 9 seasons.
Yeah.
It's different.
We saw Lala talk about how she has a guy that we just never fucking knew about until
Right.
the season before fucking everything went to shit.
Right. And even if, like, I followed her on social media, so I had seen Randall on social media. So I had known that she was dating the guy, but it's still different. Like, that's
Yeah.
like your social media life that you're showing us. That's a different, and you've said that too. That's a different life than what you show us on the show.
Mm-hmm.
So
Ariana does in fact still follow Lala, by the way. So
okay, good. Because again, I also am like, she's not a bad person. She's just lost.
yeah, I
She
really
lost
don't
the
want
real
to
plot.
believe. Yeah, I really don't want to believe this is who she is. I really want to think like this is just production getting to her and being like, yeah, we'll make you a big part of the show if you just go along with what we tell you to. But
And after she made all the money from Send It to Daryl, it's like, ooh. And she is a single mom, and like this is her income. You also can't be mad at her about that. We watch her, so this is her income.
yeah,
Be mad
but
at
like
yourself for watching her.
with the whole send it to Daryl shit, like she could prove like she can do this on her own. Like she
Yeah.
doesn't need this show.
Yeah. Yeah.
She can get her own
Yeah.
shit going on.
Yeah. So I don't know. I was mean to her the one week, and now I feel bad about it. So
Don't feel bad. She's dumb.
this is my depressive era. Yeah. So Tom ends up coming over and ends up going on a tirade as well about Ariana and calls her like a lazy bitch and all this other stuff. And while all of this is happening, Ariana's leaving and going to Applebee's with her boyfriend, and everybody's like talking about how like mean she is, and she's the only one not miserable.
Yeah.
Where was Katie in all of this? I don't know.
Katie was still there. Like she was in the discussion with like Lala
I
and
just
Sheena and stuff like
burped.
that.
It definitely showed.
I didn't hear it.
It definitely lit up green.
Okay, well, we'll figure that out, I guess.
Excuse me.
But yeah, like Katie was there. Like she was in the
Yeah.
discussion with Lala and Sheena, but she was sticking up for Ariana. It's
Yeah.
like, no, she
But then
doesn't
she
have to fucking
disappeared
deal with
while
this.
Ariana was leaving.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure she probably wasn't far behind her because it's just all a bunch of fucking bullshit that they're talking about. So
Once she leaves, what do you need me here for?
yeah, it's like I'm not gonna agree with any of these people. Like I'm just gonna go. Like
Yeah.
see you at Applebee's. Bye.
Yeah, Katie. She probably invited Katie, and that's where Katie went.
Yeah, probably.
She's like, I had to get out of there. Come meet me at Applebee's.
I think like Lala tried like bitching to Katie about her, and she's like, she doesn't need to talk to Tom. Like
She did say
there's no
something like
reason
that.
to.
She did.
Yeah, and then after that, she's just gone. And then it cuts to fucking Lala bitching about like, oh, we've all shown all of our lives on this, and I'm like, you haven't, but okay.
You haven't.
Like, you really shouldn't be the voice of this conversation right now.
Yeah. So
And-
yeah, so let's talk about the montage real quick. I feel like that montage at the end signified an end to something. I don't
It
know if
has
it's
to
an end of Vanderpump, a cat, and that's why me and Stephanie were saying to you, like, no, this is a different montage than before.
Yeah, I mean, I still felt like it was the same like vein, like maybe like they don't know if they're getting renewed or not. Like that's kind of how it felt at the end of last season before Sandoval happened.
Right.
Because I mean, we all know like they turned the cameras back on and shit for everything
Right.
immediately after
Like we
Sandoval.
have like 2 finales technically.
Yeah, so it felt like that was the end of the show until everything fucking happened. And so now they're
Yeah.
just like, are we going to get renewed or not? Like, is this going to be the end? Let's just have something going just in case.
So Ariana and Katie both took out Vanderpump Rules from their bios on Instagram today or like yesterday. If you heard that, that was Keenan.
I didn't hear anything.
Okay, he made like a really loud bang, and he probably knew it too. He's probably like, "Fuck." No, but this one felt different because we saw them all in like their first interview, and then, like, everything else. It felt very different to me, like, almost like it was an end montage. So what I was saying to you guys was, I don't think Vanderpump is gonna end, and they've kinda made that clear to us,
Mhm.
but I think we're gonna have a different cast.
I mean, we have to. Like, they've already
Yeah,
said, like, they're delaying filming supposedly to let them, like, live out their lives after Sandoval and stuff like that, and, like, was it Stephanie that said, like, Ariana's supposed to host, like, Love Island or something like
yeah, yeah,
that?
yeah.
So, something's happening. I don't know what it is. I don't know if we're getting spinoffs. I don't know if we're getting a whole new cast of people, which, if that's the case, I don't know why you start Vanderpump Via. Like, I feel like that's kinda the last
Yeah,
ditch
the
effort
villa
there.
thing, yeah.
Yeah. So, I don't know. But I
Yeah,
feel like this is the end of what we know. So,
yeah. That's what I think too, like, that they're gonna get rid of some of the different cast members. Um, like, I don't think Ariana and Katie are coming back.
yeah, I would love a
I think
something
the
about
Toms
her
will.
show, but well, yeah, they don't have anything fucking going
Yeah,
on.
but I could see them, like, bringing in new people from, like, Tom Tom.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe,
Maybe even, like,
was it
Schwartz and
Kyle
Sandy's.
Chan or something? Because I mean, they
Kyle's
were
in it.
featuring him a lot this season. So,
Yeah. They could even bring back Billy Lee.
yeah. Wasn't there a whole thing about her, like, unfollowing Sandoval and stuff like that?
Yeah. Yep, yep,
So,
yep. Who knows what that's about? Yeah. But I feel like we're not gonna see it in the same way that we've been seeing it.
yeah, definitely not.
And I could see Sheena and Lala leaving to go to the Valley, which a lot
Yeah.
of people don't want to happen, but I don't know, the Valley's boring to me, sure.
I feel like they would definitely bring, like, a little bit more to it than what we're getting now, just
Yeah.
because all we're getting is just couples fighting, like,
Yeah.
it's we'll get to that, but it's
Yeah.
eh, I
Yeah.
don't know. Valley's like,
I'm not
it
liking
has its
it.
moments, but it's just yeah.
Yeah. Um, so as Ariana's leaving for Applebee's, I wanted to take a drink before we got here. As she's leaving for Applebee's, we have a little snippet of
Mhm.
the two Toms. And I didn't write down exactly what it said, but it said something like Tom Schwartz had said something like, "Wow, what about that? That was something, wasn't it?" After the whole Lala and whatever
It
tirade.
was it was the producer saying, like, "Well, that's it." And then Schwartz said, like, "Wow, what a twist." And then Sandoval said, like, "It was good for me."
Yeah.
And that's what we fucking ended on
And that's what
after
we
a
fucking
whole
ended on.
fucking season of trying to make Sandoval look like the good guy.
Yep. Yep. Now I have a note here. Let me read it again. I was saying that I wonder if before they played that line, this is actually before they played the line, I said, I wonder if they were trying to tank Ariana and make her a villain so that way she would have to come back.
I I don't think
'Cause
she would.
she was getting all those brand endorsements, she was getting all those advertisements, she's getting all that stuff. And I wonder if they were trying to make her a villain so that way the audience turned against her so she would have to stay.
I if they did that, I don't think she would come back though, because
Yeah,
I
like I
feel
think
like
she was done no matter what.
yeah, she would have straight up been like, "This isn't me. Like, this is all an edit and shit like that. Like,
Yeah.
I'm
But
not the
do you
villain
think the
here."
producers thought about that, or do you think they did it anyway?
I I feel like they would have had to think about it. Like Sandoval, you could do that with.
Right,
Ariana, I don't think that happens with. And
right.
I feel like now that we're talking about this, and I think about how they all watched the finale like at the reunion, I
Those, like,
feel like
I think those 3 lines that they keep teasing is gonna be those 3 lines from the producer, Schwartz and Sandoval.
yeah, and I feel like that's like you have to like figure out like they set all this up.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it was fucking boring the whole time because of it,
Do
but
you think that they put in those lines and, like, because everybody was wondering, like, I've seen TikToks where everybody's wondering, like, why didn't they re-edit the season? Like, why didn't they switch it up? And do you think it's because they maybe they didn't feel like editing it, and they knew that they had this little sound bit. So once it wasn't working out, they put in that sound bit at the very end. And then that's why it carried over into the reunion. But because by the time they filmed the reunion, they would have known that the Tom Sandoval arc isn't working out.
Yeah, that's true.
So maybe they're going to use the reunion to save it.
I mean, it could definitely feel that way. Like, you're not going to be able to, like, edit like half a fucking season if you find out like halfway through, like, yeah, this shit isn't working. So it would
That's a
make
lot of
sense to
time.
put
That's a
that.
lot of money. That's a lot of overtime.
And I mean, think about this fucking season of The Amazing Race. Like, they had a whole fucking year to do that shit. And
Yeah,
it's
and that's
still
fucking
not good.
horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's no way you could save it just by like quickly editing shit like that.
Yeah.
So it would make sense just to put something at the very end, make them all watch it at the end without knowing what was going to happen. And that would also, make
Because they
sense why
said that they
Lala
didn't
was.
see it. They've
Yep.
never heard it, and they saved it.
And that would make sense why Lala was like, oh, yeah, there's going to be a point where everybody switches sides. And
Yeah.
we haven't heard anything
But
from
now
her
that we
since.
know what we know, and now that she knows what she knows, maybe the reunion, and that's why, because Lala's actually come out and said, I'm not talking about anything until after the part 3 reunion.
Yep. That makes a lot of sense then. Maybe that's exactly what it
Drunkcast.
was. Yeah. Look at us figuring shit out under the influence.
Drunkcast. Get Laura Prosecco.
Yeah, that definitely makes a lot more sense.
Yeah. Well, I just thought about that because I'm like, you know what? That would make sense.
Yeah. I mean, it was the same thing with me. Like, I just came to the realization about like, oh, like maybe they didn't know that was part of it until they saw the reunion. So,
Because, like, I mean, it would make sense that those are the 3 lines that they're talking about.
I mean, I don't remember anything about like 3 lines before I said that.
So in like the
So,
preview that I've been seeing for the reunion, they keep saying like, "Oh, we saved the very, very end, like the last couple lines for the reunion for you all to watch together." And
okay.
then Ariana's like crying, she's sobbing, Katie's comforting her. It even looks like Lala's a little pissed.
Okay. Then yeah.
James is livid.
Okay. Yeah, that definitely like kind of backs it up then. Like,
And this would also be filmed after all the after show stuff.
yeah. And like I don't watch like the next time on or anything like that. Like, I try
Yeah.
not to do that just because I like the surprise. So I
Do
don't.
you watch trailers for like
No,
movies and stuff?
I
Okay.
try not to. Like, if I'm
Okay.
at a movie, I'll watch it. But if someone's like, "Oh, the new trailer for this just dropped," I'm not gonna watch it.
Yeah, I don't
Like, if
either.
it's something I'm interested in, like, I'm gonna go see it. If I see a trailer in like the theater and I'm like, "Oh, that looks good," I'm gonna go see it. I don't
Yeah.
look things up. I try not to. Like,
I
I
don't
don't
either.
wanna
Like,
know.
I haven't seen the trailer for Abigail, and I also haven't seen the movie yet, and I haven't seen anything about it because
Yeah,
I'm like kind of waiting it out.
yeah. Like, was it like Everything Everywhere All at Once? I saw the one trailer for that, and I was like, "Oh, that looks fucking awesome." And I never looked anything up about it until I went and saw it.
Yeah.
And you know what? Fucking phenomenal movie. So,
Okay. Yeah, so the Vanderpump reunion starts next week. That's going to be something. We're going to see what the 3 lines are. We're going to see if I'm correct.
hopefully it'll be the best part of the season so far.
Hopefully the reunion redeems things cuz this is bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to be honest. I don't have anything for the Valley.
Nothing happened on the Valley, so you're fine.
Yeah, I have literally one thing. They called Kristen to tell her she wasn't invited. Are you fucking kidding me?
I don't even know what that's in reference
Yeah,
to.
so
I zoned
apparently
out so hard in the Valley.
yeah, so Janet had a party and basically they didn't want to bring Kristen cuz everything that was happening. So Janet called Kristen to tell her that she wasn't invited just so she knew.
Okay. Yeah, like I watched
And then Kristen
both.
didn't invite her to her party. And that's basically what the whole episode was.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Like
And then
I
Brittany with her fucking southern accent.
I watched Vanderpump in the Valley back to back. So like I was already
So did
kind of
I.
like trying to piece shit out like about Vanderpump in my head. And
Yeah.
then like just the Valley just wasn't
The
doing it for
Valley's
me.
not hitting for me.
Yeah, I zoned out hardcore. I don't care. It like I said earlier, it's just couples fighting, and
Yeah.
it's like there's not even like an up and down arc to it. It's just couples fighting and just keep building and building.
And like we're watching like two marriages break down, and it's not really that exciting to watch. Like I understand that I watch reality TV, but I'm really not excited to watch like people's lives get ruined. Like I've
Yeah.
never watched Teen Mom because it's like depressing.
Yeah.
Like no offense to the Teen Mom people, but your life could have been very different.
hmm Like I
And
feel
it's
like
kind of like
yeah.
depressing.
Yeah. I feel like the only couple that's like actually fun watching were
Yeah.
the two that were watching Jackson Brittany's kid last week.
Yeah.
Like
Mia
they're the only
and
fun ones.
Mia and Danny.
Yeah. 'Cause
Yeah,
like
the one who's
they're
like, "I have baby blues," and he's like, "Baby girl, you're not alone."
yeah.
It's like, you guys are the only thing that are okay here. That's why
Yeah.
it's like, bring Lala and Sheena and bring them on with them, because maybe I'll like them. I
Yeah.
don't like Janet. I feel like Janet's getting a lot of passes because she's pregnant.
Yeah. Like she's like
She's a
nothing
shitster, and
interesting
she
is
learned
going
from
on.
Sheena.
Yeah.
Sheena's her friend. She learned from Sheena how to do this shit.
hmm
That's exactly what it is. And she's like and it's like,
Yeah.
like, what is your husband doing with you? Your husband is the most even-keeled human being I've ever met. I
Yeah.
don't even know what his name is. That's how even-keeled he is. I think it's Jason.
Yeah. Something like that.
I don't know. I called Frank Steve on Hell's Kitchen for like 6 weeks.
Yeah. uh what were the two that had like the big fight last week?
Oh, Michelle and Jesse.
Yeah. Like they're interesting in their own way. Like I know like it's pretty much the same thing for them where like it's just nonstop fighting and they're about to break up at any fucking moment.
Yeah,
But for some reason
which
like
they do.
yeah. For some reason like I'm into their story. Like I feel like there's actual like drama there.
We're
Like
watching a real breakdown of a marriage.
yeah. I mean, we're
Like
watching that
that's
with
what we're
Jackson
watching.
Brittany
Like,
too.
yeah.
So
But like
like
I mean, like I feel like Jesse and Michelle feel more real.
yeah. Because like they're not as blatant about it.
Yeah.
Like Jackson
Jax is
Brittany, like
messy.
yeah, we've known how Jax is.
Yeah.
Brittany has known how Jax is. Like we saw this coming for a
We've
while.
never met Michelle or Jesse, and they're both kind of messy.
Yeah, and like we thought, you know, Brittany maybe calmed Jax down and stuff like that. And according to her, like everything was good until they had a kid, and then that kind of fucked things up
Well,
because
they
Jax
did
is
the flashback or like the flash of the Vanderpump where Katie and whoever were talking about, oh, I still hear stories about him running around town,
yeah. So
which was
what? Jax cheated? No way.
no, but it was like, wow, you really put that on there.
Yeah. But
Yeah, but I don't know. I'm not liking the Valley. I'm really
yeah.
not.
Yeah, and like the fact that they're not getting like a reunion feels like they have
Yeah,
no faith in that show as it is.
none.
So
Well, so here's the thing. Most Bravo shows, they don't get a first season reunion. That's like a thing across the board.
okay,
Yeah, so you really can't judge based on that.
okay. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
at the same
Like Below
time, if
Deck
like
season 1 didn't get a reunion.
okay, yeah, that's true. But at the same time, like if you're a producer of the show and you know like none of these couples fucking make it out of the first season, like you're not gonna give them a reunion either. And like they're all
No.
like pretty well known like at this point, right?
Yeah.
Like they all have like their own things going on.
Yeah,
even
like
if it's-
Janet has a following because she's friends with Sheena.
Yeah. And then Jackson and Brittany both have Vanderpump. Like you feel like
And then
you
the
would
one
give that
guy's an
show a
actor.
reunion. Yeah. Like I feel like this show, like they would have had faith in to
Yeah.
just go with that. And then
Yeah.
they just didn't. So I feel like this is just kind of like a one season and we're done kind of thing.
Yeah.
So
It very easily could be. I feel like that's what's happening with Vanderpump Villa. Like we don't talk about it because we don't really watch it all that much. I like half watch it. It's really not good. It's literally Below Deck. And
Yeah.
it's like not a good version of it.
Below Deck on land. That's all it is.
Yeah. And it's not a good version of it. And so it's really not good. And it feels like that's going to be like a one and done thing.
Yeah. I haven't watched it since like the first 2 episodes.
You're
3
missing
episodes came
nothing.
out, something like that. Yeah. Like I don't care. Like
Yeah. You
it's the
do
same
have to
shit as
watch
Below Deck,
Traders.
but yeah,
You
I
have to watch the
started that
first 2
one.
seasons of Traders. So that way when season 3 comes out, you can watch and all 3 of us can watch because Stephanie loves it. So you have to.
Okay. I think I started this season. Like I don't think
You did
I even
start one
watched
of
the first
them.
season.
You did start one of the seasons.
Was Alan Cumming the host of both, or was it just this season?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah,
I don't
because you told
remember
us
what
about,
I've
you're like, this is what Alan Cummings is doing.
It's like he went from Spy Kids to this. Okay.
Yeah.
Spy Kids to X-Men to this.
Yeah. Yes, that's what really happened. But yeah, no, that's what you were talking about. Yeah. So you did watch some of it. Who was on the cast? Do you remember? You don't know a lot of the people. That's the problem.
Yeah. I know there was like some like British politician on there.
That's the second one.
Okay, so I didn't watch the first season then, so I'll probably go back
Yeah.
and watch that then. But
Yeah. I need to watch some of it. So yeah, you have to do that because Stephanie loves season 3 so much that we have to. I mean, she loves season 2. Like we have to.
well, I mean, we're about to dump Vanderpump in the Valley, so
Yeah, right.
and like what we have 2 episodes left of The Amazing Race.
The Amazing Race is done next week. The finale's next week. And then Survivor's 2 weeks from now.
Because
Yeah.
we're at the final 4.
Yeah.
So aren't we losing one more team and then it's the final 3?
Okay, so how it always works is the Amazing Race always ends a week before the Survivor finale because the Survivor finale is 3 hours.
Okay.
So the Amazing Race finale is always the week before.
Okay. So all right, so we're losing. Well, I mean, we're for sure losing that. We still got a couple episodes of Vanderpump with the reunions and stuff. I don't know how much we have left of the Valley.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Well, I mean, I'll squeeze it in. It's fine. We're losing shows. That's all that matters.
The Bachelor picks up in July again, I think.
Okay, so I still have time.
I think that's what they were. I think that like it's saying that like July something is the date for the Gen season.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, let's get into Survivor. Venus finds an idol. And I loved that for her. I literally wrote, Venus finds an idol. I love that for her. Like, Venus is such an asshole, but like I'm an asshole, so I get it.
Yeah, I wanted her to stick around. Like,
so did I.
I was happy for her. Like, she should have.
I was really excited that she found an idol. I was like, yes, Venus. Yes.
Yep.
Because I don't mind people being assholes. Like, I really don't.
Yeah.
Like, I understand that I'm watching a reality television show. Like, it's not that deep.
Mm-hmm.
So, they are searching around with Venus, thinking that Venus doesn't find it because she's just Venus.
Real quick. Venus is a terrible fucking actor. This whole fucking episode. Like,
Venus has no acting skills. Do not do that, girl.
Yeah.
Do not.
Like, I'm happy you found it, but like she said, like, you know, I need to not make this obvious. And then she did
made it obvious.
she could to make it obvious.
I know. Did literally everything possible. So the immunity and the reward are together, and they have to basically like put a ball down some obstacles. I don't know.
Yeah, it was like balancing it on like one stick, and then they added to the stick, and then they had to do a snake maze.
Yeah, they had to do a snake maze. Yeah, that's how it ended.
Which Venus almost won. Yeah.
I was so excited for her. They start giving her like a win moment, and then she misses.
Mm-hmm.
I was rooting for her. I was like, go Venus, go Venus. I was rooting for her. I root for chaos.
Same.
Yeah, so like I'm like, Venus, win it, do it, do it, do it, right? So Maria ends up winning. And Maria wins the reward where they basically have a bunch of pizza that goes back to camp. And Maria wins it, and she has to decide who's coming back with her. And
She's
if
a
nobody wanted
fucking
Maria to
idiot.
leave, if nobody wanted Maria to leave before, they for sure do now.
Mhm.
So she basically asks a bunch of starving people to beg, which Charlie says, I'm going to take myself out of the equation, which Charlie was gunning for Maria a little bit. And I feel like Charlie did that on purpose. I feel like he took the easy decision out. So
Mhm.
she had to choose.
He made her the villain. Like, it was a smart
Yes.
fucking move.
I know. And I'm like, I saw one other person on Twitter say it, and I haven't seen anybody else say it, but I had written it down, and I was like, I feel like he did that on purpose.
He definitely did.
Yeah. Like, he definitely took the easy decision out. And so
He was
basically what
definitely
she
playing
does,
both sides. Like,
yeah,
he wanted to, like, stay in her good graces by being like, I'm gonna make this easier for you, and I'm just gonna step out, but still making her the villain rather than him.
yes,
So
yes. So she basically asks a bunch of starving people to beg. Venus says, I'm not going to beg.
yeah.
So then it's Liz going, I'm not too proud to beg. And Q going, yeah, okay, I'll beg too. I'll beg too.
Who just
Still,
fucking ate.
still can't decide and has them play a children's game of rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Liz, who hasn't eaten at all,
Yep.
is the easy pick there, right? She wants to bring Q because she wants to keep Q on her good side. And that's why she did what she did, hoping that Q would win. And that's what happened. And she was trying to play both sides, and it read to every single person. So she's gone.
Yeah.
Gone.
She wanted to keep Q as a smokescreen,
Yep.
but
Exposed herself.
It just made her look fucking terrible. Like,
Horrible.
you already saw this person fucking freak out over not getting a fucking burger.
Yep.
And you're still not going to feed her, and you're going to pick the
Scream.
guy who just fucking ate.
Yes.
Like,
And not the
come
girl who
on.
hasn't eaten.
Yeah. Like, she got rice. Like,
It's she's eaten a cup of rice in 20 days.
yeah.
Like, oh my God. Like, she did it to save face, and
Boy, did it backfire.
yeah, big time. Yeah, I literally wrote, Liz has had 1 cup of rice in 4 weeks. So no matter what she says, it's because of that.
Yep.
Like, please give Liz a pass on everything that she says, because she's had a cup of rice in 4 weeks. And imagine you, a hangry ass little person who hasn't had anything to eat in 4 weeks. Not coconuts, not anything, because
Yep.
you're allergic to it. So it's not like she's even eating the coconut at rice, at like
Yeah.
the camp. She's not eating anything except for.
That's why I was like, can she even eat like pizza?
I think she
Like,
would have done it anyway.
yeah. At this
I think
point,
that
like,
like
why
she's
not?
I think that like she had said something before where I think she's not like anaphylactic when it comes to dairy, so
Yeah.
she would have done it.
It just makes her like uncomfortable, pretty much.
Yeah. Like for me, I'm lactose intolerant and I can't say I wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
So I think it's something more like that. Like I think she's anaphylactic for certain things like coconut, like
Yeah.
nuts probably, things like that. And that's what
Yeah.
she really wants to stay away from.
Makes sense.
But she's like, I'll risk it. Cause like that's the thing. Like I'm allergic to shrimp, right?
Mhm.
So I'm allergic to shellfish basically, but I love shrimp and I've always eaten shrimp and whatever. One day I end up allergic to it because that's what happens with autoimmune disease. I had this happen before I was diagnosed with Crohn's disease, but this is what happens with autoimmune diseases. So I eat shrimp one day and I start breaking out in hives. My throat doesn't close up though. Like I don't feel like my throat is closing up. My tongue doesn't swell, anything like that. So I'm somebody who can take 2 Benadryl and be cool.
Yeah. You're just
That's the difference.
uncomfortable for a little bit.
Right. But I'm not going to die. So I take 2 Benadryl and I'm not going to die.
It's like me with cats.
Right.
So-
You're not going to die. You're allergic, but you're not going to die. There's a difference.
Yeah.
I don't think people understand the difference.
Yeah. Like I mean, I had a
Yeah.
roommate that like loved cats and stuff like that. He's like, well, like, why don't you want one? Like, I'll get a hyperallergenic. I'm like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna risk like me being uncomfortable in my own fucking house just
Yeah.
because you want a cat. Like,
Yeah.
sorry,
That's what my
but
boyfriend says. So we're not getting a cat.
yeah.
Anyway, I don't know who Charlie says this to, but I wrote it down. Charlie says to somebody, honestly, the Taylor Swift truth.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, he literally says, honestly, the Taylor Swift truth. I'm gonna guess it was to Maria.
Probably.
Yeah. So basically what happens is Venus tells Charlie that she has an idol. And it was basically confirmed in her exit interview that when she's talking to Charlie and she's basically saying like, "Oh, we'll be fine, don't worry, I have something." That was like the conversation that like sealed her deal.
Yeah.
And like and like they've had exit interviews where like that's like literally what happened and she said it. She's like, "I told him and that was the problem."
Again, like she's talking about not telling anybody, but makes it just so fucking obvious. She's like, "Oh yeah,
Obvious.
I have something up my sleeve." And he's like, "So
And
you
it's
have
like
an
you're
idol?"
sitting
She's
at the
like,
final 7. You're at the final 7 and you hint that you have an idol. You're gone.
yeah,
Because you're going to be at final 6 with that idol and you're going to play it. And there's only 5 of us to choose from.
yep."
Fuck you. Get out.
So fucking dumb. Like,
So Venus ends up going home with an idol in her pocket.
so wait, does that go back into play? Because
Nope.
I know,
It might. So
I know
I'm going to say
Tiffany's
nope.
did. So
Yeah. I'm going to say nope just because it's at final 6. But
okay,
they've been doing a lot of twists where they've done things like that. So I'm going to take back my nope and say there is a chance that they put it back in play.
okay, makes sense.
Yeah. I don't think that they should, but there is a chance.
Okay,
Yeah. I hope Charlie finds it. That's who I'm rooting for right now.
yeah, because he'd be fucking smart with it at least. Like,
Yeah.
everybody else that's had one has just been a fucking idiot with it.
Idiot.
Like
'Cause
Tiffany
you
already
know,
said, like Tiffany said for 2
like,
weeks, like, I need to get rid of this, and then she didn't.
yes. Yes. I
Maria,
feel like
or not
Venus
Maria, Venus had one, had the perfect fucking time to play it, didn't do it. Like, what the
didn't do
fuck
it.
is wrong with y'all?
Doesn't say, decides to tell somebody so that way she can't even be the sole vote to get rid of somebody.
Yeah.
So it's just mismanaged each and every time. And it's because of greed.
Every
Like,
time.
greed is really showing its like.
Is it greed or pride? Because I feel like most of it's like, oh yeah, I'm safe this week. So
Hunter was greed. Hunter wanted to
yeah,
keep it another week. Hunter was
greed.
greed.
Yeah. I feel like everybody else was like, oh yeah, like,
Tiffany was
I'm smarter
pride.
than everybody else.
Tiffany was
So,
pride.
Venus too,
Tiffany
I'd
thought
say.
that she was pride. Tiffany was prideful about it.
Yeah.
Venus, I don't know. Venus was kind of a fucking idiot for telling people because she knows
Tiffany
she's
was-
on the bottom.
Tiffany was definitely pride because like everybody knew and
Yeah.
she still didn't fucking play it.
Yeah. But
And she
Venus, I'm not
admitted,
sure.
like, I need to get rid of this. So
She said it and then she didn't do it. You knew that you had to get rid of it for 2 weeks. Yeah, she's definitely
this has
pride.
been like a dumb season of
Dumb
like,
season, like 3 right back to back.
mhm.
Yeah. And 2 of them knew that they should play it. And Venus kind of even knew that she should play it. If she didn't tell anybody, she would have been fine.
Yeah.
So, we have 1 more week and then it's the finale. I'm almost positive.
I do want to know who voted for Kenzie.
Yeah, I didn't watch like the
Okay.
votes. So at the end, because you don't watch the preview. So at the end, it goes through the whole preview. And then while the person is like talking about like an exit interview and they're saying like, oh shit, I got blindsided, whatever, they're showing the votes of who people voted for. So I didn't stay to watch that this week, actually.
Okay. Well, there's 1 vote for Kinsey. And
Yeah.
what was it? I think it was like 4 for Venus, 1 for Q, and
You might
1
be
for
able to
Kenzie.
find it on Wikipedia. Those people update that shit right away.
They can tell the fucking handwriting and shit like that?
No, because they show us at the end of the episode.
Oh, okay.
So they show us like, they'll show us like Kenzie showing her vote. They'll show Q showing his vote.
Okay. Okay. Gotcha. I know what you're talking
Yeah.
about. Okay.
Yeah, but you don't say for the preview, so you wouldn't know.
Yeah, no.
They do that every season. They've done that every season since the beginning.
Okay.
So if you go back and watch old seasons, they'll do it.
Well then, maybe I'll just fast forward to the end of this last episode.
Yeah. So it's right after the preview. And like they
Okay.
have like the people sit there and like they're like, oh shit, I got or whatever. And then they, or as they're like talking in their voiceover, it shows who voted.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. The only time that they have never done that and showed the people voting at the same time is this guy, Eric. It's the final 5. There's an all-girl alliance of 4. And Eric wins immunity at final 5. And the 4 girls convince this man to give up his immunity and give it to Natalie. Mind you, they have taken out the men systematically.
I think I remember you talking about this before.
Yeah, he gives it up and gives it to her. The only time that they have ever showed everybody's vote is that tribal council because it was so clear that Eric was going on. The jury started laughing the minute he did it. Like they literally, you have Suri going, my mom always told me you might not always be able to beat him with these, but you can surely beat him with these.
Mm-hmm.
And then Parvati's going, that was the dumbest move ever. Like in the history of Survivor, that will go down as the dumbest thing ever, forever. Like forever.
God damn.
And that's the only time that's ever been done.
Love that.
Yep. It was perfect. So moving on to The Amazing Race. The Amazing Race was fucking boring as it has been all season. If you don't know,
with our conversation earlier,
I know. If you don't know, this season of The Amazing Race was shot with it being an hour-long episodes. And so now it ended up being 90 minutes, and this season was actually shot before last season. We've talked about it a bunch of times on here, but that is why this season feels so fucking wrong.
Yeah. I mean, it took us like half the season to realize it, but
yeah. So it starts out with a roadblock. They run and they do like this obstacle course and have to find stones that match each other. It actually seems really difficult.
it looks fun though. Like I would
It looks
definitely
fun.
love doing this one.
Yeah. Then they go to a detour and it has to do with cocoa beans. And either they have to harvest them or they have to prepare them. And most of them, I think, harvest them.
Yeah, I think all of them do. So
I think all of them end up harvesting them instead of preparing them because preparing them is actually very difficult. And if you've ever seen the TikToks of it, you know that.
yeah.
So I think that they all did the harvesting. The one guy climbs the tree like a fucking idiot. The nurse guy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that tool's stupid. No, you're not using the tool correctly. The tool has been created to do this specific thing by the indigenous people. That tool works. It's you.
You knock them down. Like, what's so fucking hard about that?
Like, that's the thing that gets me. Every time that they do shit like this on The Amazing Race and they go to like an indigenous country and they're doing some shit like this, they're like, the tool's not working. No, the tool 100% works.
You're the
it is
tool
for
that's
sure
not working.
user error.
Yeah.
This is an indigenous tool that was created to make this an easy thing to do. The problem is you.
By the way, we're in the Dominican Republic. I don't know if we mentioned that.
We are in the Dominican Republic. Yeah. We left Barbados and we're back.
Still in the West Indies.
God.
Still just above South America where we were the whole fucking season.
Right. The reason that we are in Dominican Republic is because we do another roadblock and it has to do with baseball, which is what Tyler wants to get to. So let's get there.
Well, I mean, we just didn't say like where we were at the beginning. So
right. So we're in the Dominican Republic, and if you guys don't know anything about baseball, baseball's huge in the Dominican. Do you want to do it? You do it. You do it. This is something that you can take and do it.
Yes.
Do it.
Okay. So what was it, a roadblock or a detour? I don't know like the difference between either of these. So.
A roadblock is when the one person does it. The detour is when they pick the two different things.
Okay, so this was a roadblock then.
Yes.
Okay. The roadblock was you have to do 3 different baseball drills. You have to field a ground ball from second base and throw it to first base. You have to catch a fly ball in center field, and then you have to hit a bottle cap with like a very thin stick. Was it like 25 feet or something like that?
Mm-hmm.
And then
The bottle cap.
fucking Bartolo Colon was the quote unquote judge slash guy who just gave you a
Which,
clue.
which, if you know nothing about baseball, was the most obscene person to pick.
Out of all the Dominican players, you picked Bartolo Colon, a
Like, he's
mediocre
the one who
pitcher.
said yes and was cheap.
Yes, that's all it was. He's a mediocre pitcher known for
He
being
said
fat
yes during
and
COVID and
hitting
was
a home
cheap.
run. Yeah,
We're hitting
like
one home run.
hitting
He's a
one home
pitcher
run.
that hit one home run. Adam Wainwright on the St. Louis Cardinals hit a home run every fucking year, at least one. He was a
Yep.
pinch hitter in numerous situations.
And was it Greinke? Same thing. Like,
Yep.
there's people who can be both good pitchers and hit home runs. Bartolo Colon
Otani's a
hit
great
one.
example.
Yeah.
Otani, but you got the guy that hit one and was like a mediocre pitcher. Like, I mean, how many teams did the guy bounce around from?
A bunch. Like,
I mean, he was on the A's for a decent amount of time, which could.
Yeah, I think he was most known for what, Cleveland and the Mets.
He was on the
I think?
Cleveland for a while.
Yeah. Like he was in Cleveland when he was skinny,
and that
then,
was
like,
toward the end of his career.
no, that was the beginning.
That was the beginning.
And then,
He
like,
was on like someone like that at the very end of his career. Maybe it was the A's.
the Mets is where I know him, like, mostly from. I
He
know
was on
he
the
was in
Mets for a
Boston
very
for
long time.
season.
That's where I think most people. I think the best that he was on the Mets. I think that's where most people know him
Yeah.
from.
That's where he hit the home run and everything. So
Yeah.
But, like, so we get to this whole thing. They show his statue and they're like, "Oh yeah, this is the team that Bartolo Colon, like, owns and runs, and he bought the stadium and stuff like that." And so I'm like, "Oh, okay, that's cool." Like, they go to his hometown, like, they're like highlighting that or whatever. And then he just fucking shows up. And they're like, "Yeah, he's going to be the judge." And I'm like, "What?" And, like, at that moment I was just bought into this episode. I'm like, "Okay, where are we going with
You
this?"
were bought into the season at this moment.
Yes. And then that led us down a whole fucking rabbit hole of where Bartolo Colon is now.
Yeah. Oh my God. What Tyler finds on the internet was amazing. We spent like a good 30 minutes looking at this shit.
And just laughing.
So basically, there is a new league in like India.
It's India, Pakistan, and the United Arab Emirates.
Right.
And it's called
And
Baseball United.
Baseball United. And they've started this new league. And like, this is the first year. Like, this is like literally like the first year that like this is a thing.
Hopefully.
And
it's
so
the first
basically,
year. They haven't started yet.
yeah, like we're coming up to the first year. Like, we did the draft. Like, they had a draft. And who was in the draft? But all of these washed up old fucking like mediocre baseball players.
The first 2 names I saw were Bartolo Colon and Pablo Sandoval. Like, you can't get any more washed up, fat, and should not be playing baseball than these 2 people.
Robinson Cano, who was a big guy on the Yankees for a long time, he's playing over there on one of the teams.
Yeah.
We have, if you're a Cardinal fan here, we have Adrian Beltre being the general manager of one of the fucking teams. Adrian Beltre on the Cooperstown Baseball Hall of Fame fucking ballot.
And Miguel Tejada is the fucking actual manager of that team.
Yeah. Oh my God, there were more people that we saw too that I can't even think of. We saw Miguel, what's his name? Miguel something. Oh, you sent me his name.
Yeah. Tejada?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the manager of the, yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck, who else was there? I know, fucking Felix Hernandez
Yes.
Uh,
I'm trying to find her text message because he sent like 4 of them.
Mariana Rivera, Barry Larkin, Elvis Andrews, all fucking are owners of the league.
It's like, are you kidding?
Robbie Ross is there.
Yes, there was some other Cardinal guy that was there for like years that was like
Oh,
coaching, and he's like an old guy and he's coaching there too.
Sano was his name.
Sabo.
Sabo, yeah, there you go.
Sabo. Yeah, he was a Cardinal coach for a long time, and he's doing it over there now.
I texted my friend Ben about it, and like he was just like, he said he only recognized a few names, and I'm like, it's all just old, fat, and retired players, and I have to find a way to watch it when it starts. And he's like, has it not started? And I was like, it's supposed to start this year. And I'm like, you have Bartolo Colon and Pablo Sandoval playing in the same league again, and it's going to be a disaster.
It's so funny.
I
said, when are you going to sign Albert Pujols?
Yeah. I said Colon is going to be 51 on May 24th, and he's going to be pitching in a goddamn desert. Pablo Sandoval hasn't drank water in a decade.
I know. What did I say? I said they're 57 at least. Like, what's the requirement? 45 or older?
We do need to get the Cardinals' big three to be like on that last team that doesn't have anybody though. Like,
yeah, like that one that we couldn't find anything on or whatever it was, the Falcon, whatever.
Yeah, the Falcons. It has to be Wainwright.
Molina managing because he has his knee issue.
No, he's gonna catch.
He's gonna catch.
Knee issues are not a problem in this league. It's fine.
It wasn't a problem in the basketball either.
Yeah, exactly.
When he kicked the ball, he kicked the ball.
If he can fight refs, he can catch a ball.
If you got Yadier Molina, he was out for like over a month from the Cardinals, like 60 days or something like that for his knee issue. And then we all catch him down in like wherever, like Puerto Rico, managing the basketball team that he owns. And he's getting in a fight with the ref, acting like he doesn't have any knee problem. He kicks the basketball across the fucking place.
The best part is like the Cardinals weren't like eliminated at that point. Like they had a good chance of being like in the postseason.
They made it to the playoffs that season. Because of the 3 of them. And he was just like, yeah, taking like a month off to go like hang out in Puerto Rico with my best.
Yeah, I'm hurting. I can't do this. And he's just fucking.
And no one was mad at him.
Asses.
No one. So we're gonna get him over there.
I mean, let's be honest. He can be a player manager. He can catch and manage the team. It's fine.
He could. That's what he was doing on the Cardinals. He was literally putting everybody in place and calling every single pitch. It's fine. He can do it.
So yeah, that led us to a good like 30 minutes of just like laughing at that, and made the whole fucking season worthwhile for me, at least. I don't know about you, but
I think that me and you were one of the only couple people watching that knew who he was.
Yeah, none of the people on the show knew who Bartolo Colon
Like if Stephanie was here, she would have been like, no idea. Like there were a lot of people that had no idea who that guy was. I started cracking up when I saw him.
Same.
Because I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like how obscure could you get?
I texted you in all caps, fucking Bartolo Colon.
Yeah, and I even said what? And then you said on the episode of Amazing Race, and I said, oh yeah.
I think like the only guy who like had like even a slight idea of who he was the guy from like The Boyfriends that did that.
Yeah, because he's from
Sean. That's his name.
The other, the one that speaks Spanish. He's the only one that had even a clue.
No, it wasn't.
Or was it the other one?
Yeah, the other one, because he's the one that
did
all of it. But
yeah,
he's just like, yeah, like I used to play baseball, and like I know who Bartolo Colon is, and everybody else is like, hey, it's nice to meet you, and I'm like, you have fucking no idea who he is.
No one had any clue. Not even Rod, who was the pro football player, had no idea. Me and you, if we were there, we would have been like, oh my god, Bartolo Colon.
It's like, what the fuck are you doing here, dude?
You got one home run, dude. They couldn't find anybody else. And he'd be like, I know how to field.
Do you?
Yeah. You saw me.
Like you have Pedro Martinez and fucking David Ortiz down there, like all the fucking time.
David Ortiz wanted too much money.
Probably.
Yeah.
Even Pedro, like I mean, they both like fucking call games for ESPN and shit like that.
Yeah.
So like they're busy people, like regardless.
Yeah, like he
but
was
I'm just-
definitely cheap and he owned a team.
yeah. I'm like, if you want like people to actually like pay attention to this shit, you get those two.
Right.
Like,
Imagine if that was Yadier Molina instead of him. And like they just like transported him from like Puerto Rico to do it. It would have been like, are you kidding me?
I was just like, who?
I would have peed myself. I would have been like the greatest catcher that ever hit baseball, you fucks.
Cardinals fans would know who he is, and like hardcore baseball fans like us.
Yeah.
Like, that's why we know who Bartolo Colon is. But like, if you want star power, like those are the two that turn the whole fucking Dominican Republic into
Yeah.
like Red Sox fans.
Especially Ortiz, because he's also has a nickname of like Panda.
That's Pablo Sandoval.
Hi guys.
David Ortiz is Big Poppy.
Big Poppy, there it is. Hi guys. I got him confused. Hey guys, I knew that they both had the nicknames and I knew that they both I knew both of their nicknames.
You do not confuse David Ortiz and Pablo Sandoval, two fucking
But listen, I knew that they both had nicknames.
Yeah, but one was a great Boston Red Sox player. The other one was just a fat fuck who was drinking Coca-Cola out of fucking water bottles.
He was definitely on the Brewers for a minute.
Sandoval?
Or was that Fielder? Prince Fielder is who I'm thinking
that
of.
was Fielder. Sandoval was on the Giants for their like World Series run, and then he went to Boston
because they beat us the 1 year with him.
Yes, but he was fucking awful. Like on the Red Sox, like they paid him way too fucking much money, and he just gave up and like straight up said like I have nothing left to prove.
That's so rude.
And like there's a whole fucking like iconic moment where like he's hitting a baseball and his fucking belt just explodes. Like that's how fucking fat he was. Like I'm not body shaming. It's just like you're a professional athlete. Like
you're a professional athlete. Like I'm sorry.
He was drinking Coca-Cola out of the fucking like Gatorade bottles.
Yeah,
like, that's a proven thing.
Yeah,
and he was liking like pictures of like models on Instagram. Like
wasn't he married?
Probably.
Yeah, I think he was married at that point too.
And fucking Jared Carrabis broke that story.
Yes.
that's why Pablo Sandoval fucking hates it.
Yes, he has him blocked and he talks about it all the time.
Yep.
Oh, me and Tyler get to talk about baseball today because we don't have to worry about Stephanie. Go Padres.
I was about to say, go Padres, go Nationals.
She's now a fan of the Nationals. I don't know if we've ever talked about this. She's now a fan of the Nationals because me and her follow this girl on TikTok. Her name is Anna Heed. I love her. I adore her. I think she's so cute. And she does too. And we love her. And one of her and her boyfriend is the third baseman for the Nationals. I think he's playing some reps over at first. I think they're trying to get the guy reps. You saw him this weekend because he played the Red Sox.
I mean, I didn't watch because I feel like every game I watch, they lose. So I've just been kind of like keeping up with what's going on.
Well, I watched him play the Red Sox. He was doing well. He has like a 242 average. I think he has like one home run. He has a couple RBIs. Like he's not bad. Like it's just that they have that guy sitting on third, and then they have that CJ Abrams at short, and then they have somebody else at first. So he like splits time with a lot of people.
I mean, Red Sox need a first baseman because
I know. I was like literally like this is what me and like Stephanie were talking about. She keeps buying Washington National shit. And I'm like, girl, you gotta stop because he's gonna get traded probably.
They traded Juan Soto. Like they're like nobody's safe.
No, like they're definitely gonna trade him away. I really think. And I was trying to look and see who like needs like a first or a third baseman because he's technically a third baseman. But if you can play a third, you can play first.
Yeah.
And I was trying, and I said like the Red Sox kind of need somebody.
Please.
Yeah. Like I was like looking and there's only a couple like teams and they're all in the American League that really need somebody.
I mean, like the Red Sox don't need a first baseman because we have Tristan Casas. He's hurt right now.
He's out for the season though, isn't he?
At least most of it. I don't think he's out for the entire season, but he's going to be out for a while. So like we do need somebody.
Story's out for the entire season.
Yeah. So, I mean, if he can play shortstop.
I don't think he can. I don't know if he can play short because I've only seen him at corners. I don't know
Okay.
how much his like athletic ability is where you could like convert him to a shortstop.
Gotcha. Because I mean, we're using our superstar center fielder for a shortstop right now. So
The
yeah,
Cardinals went into the season using Tommy Edman as their starting center fielder and their starting shortstop. And it's like
yeah, that's about where we're at too. So
like like we went into the season like Tommy Edman is going to be our starting center fielder, our starting shortstop. And then we don't get him surgery. We know that he has like a problem with his wrist. And like the 2023 season is a bust.
yeah,
But we don't go and give him surgery. What we do is we wait until October when the postseason's happening to go get him surgery on his wrist. So then he starts the season on the injured list. And we're told, oh, he's going to be fine. He's on the 15-day list. And now he's been upgraded to the 60-day list. Like, I've never been so blatantly lied to in my life.
beautiful.
Like, that's what, if you're a baseball fan and you're here, I just want to let you know what is pissing Cardinals fans off is not the fact that we're shitty. Like, we know that we're shitty. We knew going into the season that we were going to be last place in the National League. What's pissing us off is that our front office is lying straight to our face.
Yeah. And not doing anything to fix it.
Yeah, and like that's what a lot of like I think like you get it because like you've been following the Cardinals because of me. Like I follow the Red Sox because of you.
I was gonna say, and I'm a Boston Red Sox fan, so I know how it feels.
Right. And so you get it, but I think like a lot of like baseball fans are not understanding what Cardinal fans are actually pissed about.
Yeah,
Like what we're actually mad about is the fact that Mosaic and DeWitt keep lying to our faces. Like DeWitt said we're going to raise payroll and our payroll is less than what it was last year because we got rid of people.
Yeah.
Like that's what's pissing us off.
Yeah. The rest of the league just sees it as like, oh, you were a first place team for like what, almost 10 fucking years, and now you're just being a bunch of like fucking whiny brats about it.
And it's like, no, we don't mean to be whiny brats. Like we don't mean to be.
It's just the fucking front office is making you like
because they're just lying, like they're lying straight to our face.
Yeah.
Like they lied to Arenado's face. Like they tell like Arenado ends up signing
just
on
like
for more years. He signs on for more years, takes less money to do it. And it was because they told him that they were going to go out and they were going to do stuff. They're telling us, Mosaic's coming out and telling us we have 6 starters. We're doing all this stuff, whatever. And we come out and we have the worst season we've had in who knows how long. Like 30 years, like the worst season we've had in like 15 years at least.
Yep.
And it's like, you're lying to our faces.
I do feel bad for Arenado because it was the same thing with the Rockies. Like they said, like, yeah, we're gonna build around you, and then they traded everybody away.
Yeah,
and then he was just
like people are like on Twitter, like, what's happened to Arenado? I'm like, they broke him.
He's fucking depressed.
Like he's a broken human, and they told him all this stuff. They lied to him. He's on a worse version of the Rockies, if we're gonna be honest.
Yeah. Well.
They have better pitching than us.
But y'all have a better record than the Rockies, don't
I think we do, but that doesn't matter.
It does to some extent.
Not in the beginning like this.
But it still does. Let's see. Rockies are 12-28. Cardinals are 16-24. So still better. But
they're better, but I mean, like, be for real. You know? Yeah. So the man is a broken spirit of a person because he's like, what? Like, he doesn't have, what passion does he have to play?
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to play for the team that lied to me either.
Yeah.
I could have gone to the Dodgers and gotten how much more money, and I didn't. Because you told me he was up for his opt-out, his last opt-out.
Yeah, I was just say they probably needed a third baseman too, right? Because
yeah, we don't have anybody because we've been sitting on Arenado the whole time.
Let's see, who's the Dodgers' third baseman right now?
Oh God, they have somebody. As soon as you say it, we're gonna be like, "Fuck."
Yeah,
it's not Bellinger.
No, he was
He's an outfielder.
Yeah.
Because he was on the Cubs.
He hasn't been there in like 3 years too. So
yeah.
Dodgers roster.
As soon as you say it, we're gonna be like, "Fuck."
Oh, fucking Muncy.
Yeah, there it is. But Max Muncy.
I'd rather have fucking Nolan Arenado than Max Muncy.
I would rather have Nolan Arenado than Max Muncy any day.
Yeah.
Where was he? He was on somebody too for a long time. Cubs?
He's been on the Dodgers forever, hasn't he?
He's been on the Dodgers for a long time, but I think he came from the Cubs organization, didn't he?
Oakland in 2015, 2016, and he's been in the Dodgers ever since.
Mm.
I think you're thinking of Bellinger going from the Dodgers to the Cubs.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking.
So anyways, Amazing Race.
Yeah. So the Amazing Race, the boyfriends win again.
Big shocker.
Isn't this like their 7th win this season or something?
They got 6 first place wins and 3 second place wins is what they said, I believe. And
they're just, and you can't even say it's because the one guy speaks Spanish because they went to Barbados and they still got first. Like you can't actually say it.
Yeah, but I mean, Barbados,
and they leave in sets of 3. It's not like they're leaving with a far advance.
Yeah. They're just too good.
They're good.
They're
good just good at tasks.
Yeah.
They're good at figuring out who should do them. They're good at talking to each other. They're good at navigating. They're good at driving. They're just good.
Yeah.
Which honestly, like, good for them.
Yeah.
Because they're too, I'm going to be for real. This might be mean, and I don't care at this point, because I'd probably say this to their face too. And it's not just because it's a drunk cast. Like, I probably would still say it to their face. They do not look like 2 men that should be doing this well in the Amazing Race. And they are. And I think that's awesome.
Yeah. No. As boring as it has been, like, watching them just fucking dominate. Like, I love it for them. Because, like, how often do you see just, like, a gay couple just, like, at the
dominate
fucking
like that
of everything?
Yeah. It's just, and they're dominating. It's not even like that they're like just doing well. They're crushing.
Dominating. Yep.
They're crushing it. Like, I don't think I don't think that they've been out of the final 3, like the top 3 in the entire thing.
Yeah, no. All they have is just the
first and second.
6 first place wins, 3 second place wins.
Which I think is all the legs.
Yeah.
So it's like they're just dominating. Like, it has nothing to do with anything about anything. They're just good at this.
Yeah. I was really hoping the nurse couple would go home. Like,
I want them to leave so bad. They're just so mean to each other.
It was down to them and then the girlfriends. Like, I was really hoping for the girlfriends, and like they edited it to where it looked like they were gonna, like,
they were so far
barely
behind
pull ahead. Yeah, but they edited it to where, like, it looked like it was gonna be them. And then all of a sudden, like, the nurse couple's going. I'm like, cool. I get one more fucking week with these people just bitching at each other and being like, yeah, you know, we need to just, like, be better about communicating. I need to be less of a dick, and she needs to.
And it's the same thing, like, and then he's going to keep doing it.
Yeah, it's been.
And Stephanie looked up, and they're still together.
Yes, like I'm hoping, like, they just haven't, like, changed anything, like, this whole fucking season, because, like, the girlfriends, it, like, had a whole, like, update for them at the end of the episode where they're like, yeah, they're still together, they just had a baby girl and stuff like that. I'm like, okay, cool, so like, I love that for them.
Yeah,
I want this next fucking episode to end with just.
I do not want that. I do not want them to win at all.
No, I mean, I know they're not going to. They're going to be like the fucking 4th team. They better be, because, like, there's no fucking way they win. They haven't won a goddamn thing. Like, they've been, like, basically the.
I mean, the boyfriends are the favorite to win.
They're going to win.
Yeah, and then I think it's probably the pilots because they're the only ones that can keep up.
Yeah, I think it's going to be the boyfriends.
Rod and Letisa maybe, but
I think they're going to.
Depends on what they're given.
Yeah,
because like, she has to do roadblocks.
Yeah, and like they can, like, keep up, but they still have, like, their own problems and stuff like that. So I think it's going to be the boyfriends, the pilots, and then Rod and Letitia. And
so do I.
The fucking nurses are just going to be gone, which they should have been
I think
gone
that they're gonna. I think
time ago.
I think what's going to happen is, because I remember during the other COVID seasons, I think they do, like, an elimination, like, mid, and get rid of the 4th team, and then they just go with the 3 teams.
Okay.
I think that's what happens. Don't quote me, but I'm almost positive this week is the finale.
Okay. I mean, I trust your word better than I trust my own. I just in my mind
Only
I
because I've
see it
seen
as
it
like
more.
yeah. In
But
my
welcome
mind
to
I s-
Drunkcast. God only knows.
yeah. In my mind I see it as like we got one more team and then the next episode is going to be like the final 3 and it's going to be down to the end or whatever. But I don't remember how last season ended. So
I don't either.
yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure it wasn't that great either.
It was like another team that like dominated the whole time, wasn't it?
I only remember Annalie and her dad.
Was was it the it wasn't the mustaches that one, was it?
I know. Like, who was it? Like, I can't even like picture the people.
Is
Talk about
season
Blackout 2024. This is why you don't follow people. Don't give them your time and attention to even begin with. Let's like everybody's like using it as like, oh, it's only about people that don't speak out about genocide. Let's just let it be the downfall of celebrity culture. Actually, I'm fine with the genocide happening in Gaza being the catalyst. And for everybody that like might just show up to see us on this episode, we've talked about this numerous weeks. It's not like we've kept our mouth shut the fuck about it. And we've acknowledged it the whole fucking time. But I would like to say that this Blackout 2024 is awesome. And I think that it should just be the downfall of celebrities so it can start being the downfall of the revolution. So we can all just like start anew. Because like we've sat on here and said before, like we're millennials that understand that Gen Z is going to save us.
yeah.
Like we're millennials that are willing to like pledge fidelity to Gen Zs. I actually saw some guy on TikTok that was a millennial and he's like, do you want to know why we make the perfect marriage? Because every single time it goes like boomers are like that masculine male energy. And then it went to Gen Z who are like Karens. I mean, Gen X who are like Karens. And then it went to us where we're like the masculine, like funny guys.
Yeah, like we're a little bit more like more open to like the like
Differences.
sexuality and stuff like that. Like
Yeah.
you have like bromances and shit like that where you're like,
Yeah.
I don't want this to be gay, but it's kind of gay.
And we can make jokes about it. And,
Yeah.
like, we're, like, way more, like, insensitive than, like, most people, like, want to admit.
Yeah. Like I mean
We're insensitive.
yeah, we definitely are because we had
We're why the internet is a
probably like
cesspool.
we're the last generation of like slurs being quote unquote acceptable to say to each
Right.
other. But we
Yes.
also know it's wrong and we kind of stopped going there towards the end.
Right. Right.
So,
And then you have the Gen Zs, which are giving, like, female empowerment energy.
yes.
And that's why we're a match made in heaven and why the millennials and Gen Zs are gonna be the ones to save the world together.
I don't think millennials will. I think it's just the Gen Z that's gonna
No,
do
it's just the Gen Zs,
it.
and then it's the millennials that understand that are gonna jump on, and then we're gonna leave the millennials that wanna be boomers, like, in the past. Like, we're gonna
Yeah.
leave them over here, and the rest of us millennials are gonna come over with you guys.
There's something I was listening to where it's talking about like it's not just like actual like generational stuff. It's also dependent on like where you grew up. That kind of
Yeah.
depends like where you are. Like there's
Like, I
Gen
relate
X
to
millennials and then there's like
Yeah.
millennial Gen Zers, which
That's what I was literally about
I
to say,
probably
like, I
call myself more of. So
Yeah, exactly, and, like, people like I do the TA at school, so I'm around, like, a lot of Gen Zs all the time, and they
yeah.
say to me all the time that I'm more of a Gen Z than I am a millennial, because they're used to, like, the older millennials. They're
Mhm.
not used to, like, a younger millennial,
Yeah.
and I think that's where, like, a big thing comes from too, like, we grew up, like, with the internet. Like, I remember my parents getting our first
Yeah.
computer.
Mhm.
Like, we remember dial-up. Like, we
Yeah.
remember the internet becoming a thing, and so I think it makes us a lot more empathetic to the younger generation, and I
Mhm.
think that's why we gravitate toward them, and we're willing to, like, "Let's save the world, let's go."
Yeah. Like we're in that weird thing where like we remember where like we just had like a computer. Like you didn't
Yeah.
have your computer, you had
You
a
had the house
computer.
computer,
Yeah. And like
and it
everybody
was
used it.
plugged in to the jack in the wall, which you
Mhm.
had to unplug the phone to use.
And like, God help you if someone started calling someone while you're on the internet.
Because then it's like, because it's busy because we're on the internet. And like your parents used to yell at you because you were on the internet too long in case somebody wanted to call. Like we remember like when the internet was like very finite. I think that's the word.
Yeah, like it had an end. Like,
yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there was like way deeper than we knew, but there's only like a handful of fucking websites that you knew about, and now it's just endless. Like,
and the websites that you knew about were the ones that your friends told you about in school.
Yeah,
like that Addicting Games or whatever that we all knew about.
Yep, Addicting Games, Homestar Runner.
Yeah,
like,
and it was because like it was what we all like, and it was just word of mouth.
Yeah.
Like there was no advertisements for apps. There was no.
Well, there were advertisements, but they popped up in different windows and annoyed the fuck out of you.
Yeah, and you were at half of them were like pornographic websites.
Yeah, yeah. God, I remember having fucking LimeWire and like charging people like $5 to like make a mix CD for that.
I know. I was never allowed to use LimeWire on the family computer because it was the family computer. But I remember I remember the day we got the computer and I was late to school because I was playing the Powder Puff game on like PC. And my mom let me be late, which my mom never let me do. And if you know my mom, you're like, what? Because my mom never let me do that. And so she let me be late because we had gotten the computer. And I remember going into school and being like, I'm late because we got a computer and I got to play video games this morning before we came to school. And everybody was like, oh my God. Like I remember getting a cell phone in the like high school. Like cell phones weren't even a thing when we were kids.
I got mine like maybe like 7th grade.
Yeah.
Like I got it in like middle school, but like
yeah. Like mine was like middle school, high school. And it was because my parents are boomers. So they're like, you can use the payphone.
Like even then, like it was still like the like prepaid, like
you
had a certain amount of minutes
Flips.
to use like each month. Like not even
they
each month.
charged you for text messages.
Yeah. 10 cents a text message or some bullshit like that.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like people I don't think understand that like our generation like really grew up. Like the internet came around in like what, like 1989 or something like that. I know, shut the fuck up.
Yes.
Shut the fuck up. 1989. And like
we were in the internet at the same.
I know, fuck. Like what's a light bulb? Not there yet.
But we have the internet.
Yeah. So like what? So like we were born in what, 1992?
Yeah.
1993. Yeah. So we were like literally like at the very beginning of like internet becoming a thing. Like I don't think people understand that like we really saw like the revolution of like it all actually happened. And the only time I've ever seen people actually understand it is when I've seen like the docuseries from like Vice that are like the dark sides of the 2000s and like the dark sides of the 1990s. And then like the like CNN, like the 1990s and like 2000s and stuff. Like that's the only time that I've ever seen actually people like recognize that like we millennials went through that.
Yeah.
Like we really went through the whole technology thing. Like we're the people that started social media. Like we were sitting there on MySpace.
It was all
like we're the reason that like these people have platforms on Instagram. Like we're the reason that like influencers is a career thing.
Tila Tequila walked, so all these influencers
oh my God.
can run.
Talk about the most problematic person that we could have ever brought up in our lives. Turns out she wasn't, you know, that like Tila Tequila one shot at love thing that she had on MTV or whatever.
Yeah.
Turns out she wasn't even a lesbian. She was never bisexual. It was never a thing.
Yep. Just she would do anything for a payday, and that's all it was.
Yeah. Which is like so horrible for the gay community. Or the LGBTQIA. I don't know what's respectful to you anymore. It's Drunkcast. So that's it for The Amazing Race. That's it for the shows.
Did we even talk about the Amazing Race?
We did.
It's mostly
did.
baseball and
We
internet stuff.
we talked about what mattered.
Yeah.
What mattered to us is what we talked about. What matters to Leanne is also what we talked about because Leanne's actually a huge Phillies fan. I don't know if I ever told you that.
You did not.
Yeah. So Leanne, who's our biggest fan, sorry, Danielle, who's our biggest fan. She is actually a huge Phillies fan. I mean, you know how like Phillies fans are like made fun of for being like fair weather?
Yeah.
Yeah. She is not that. She's like with them through their bad periods. Like Kyle Gibson, who pitches on the Phillies now. I mean, on the Cardinals now. He used to pitch on the Phillies, and she told me all about him before he even came over.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Like Leanne is a huge baseball fan. Like when we talk about baseball, she's like, I know who he is.
Well, Leanne, I love Kyle Schwarber. So
yeah. She knows that he came from the Red Sox. That's how like into baseball she is.
Love that.
I talk baseball with her all the time. Like I talk baseball with her like I talk to baseball with my dad.
Let's get her on for like a fucking bonus episode.
We should. We should be like, okay, we're going to tell her son to like, Kenny will figure it out, her husband. And we'll be like, we just need to get you like on
Discord.
And on Discord, he can figure it out. He'll figure it out because Kenny's really good with computers. So
Cool.
He'll figure it out. We can put her on and we'll have her here and we'll just talk baseball, the three of us.
Next time Stephanie can't make it, hopefully, like we know like a good amount ahead of time.
In advance.
Like, yeah, come on.
And we'll do that. She'll love it. She'll love that. She'll hear this and be like, I'm down.
Or you know what? We'll make her part of our what did I call it? The Garbage Teams podcast or whatever.
Yeah. When we make it big, guys, just so you guys know, when we make it big, we have ideas on how we're gonna do like multiple like episodes a week. Like we want this to take off so bad that we have ideas.
Like this is gonna be our full-time job.
Yeah. Like we're ready. Like as soon as you guys find us and pick us up and take us with you, like we're here. Like we're ready to have like a baseball podcast. Me and Stephanie are ready to talk about like the Real Housewives and our own little thing. Like we're ready. Like all you have to do is get us there and we will be the one-stop shop for everything that you love. Like we are here as just do it.
Just listen, just share, just watch the YouTube.
Tell your friends, tell your family, tell everybody that you know. Like, man, we're here by word of mouth. We do what Mark Cuban does with his close plus drugs, so he can keep the cost of the drugs so less.
Yeah, just a couple millionaires, us and Mark Cuban, like same
and Mark
person,
Cuban.
pretty much.
First off, I love Mark Cuban.
Self-made millionaires, just
self-made millionaire goes on Shark Tank for no other reason but besides the fact that he must have fun. And he gets to invest in a bunch of shit that gets to take off. I think he invested in those Scrub Daddies.
Probably.
That's Scrub Daddy is a Shark Tank product. I just don't know who invested.
It's a fucking sponge. Shaped
it's
like
so
a goddamn
good. I have
face.
them. Oh my god, I'll go get it and show you how amazing it is.
No,
listen, if you don't have if you don't have a Scrub Daddy, I'm going to tell you why you should get a Scrub Daddy. I'm their infomercial. Mark Cuban, hire me. Mark Cuban, we're here to be your sponsorship on the podcast. Scrub Daddies are amazing. First off, the little smiley face is actually meant so you can put like your utensils and shit in between and it scrubs it all out. Now listen, if you don't have a dishwasher, you get it. Because you're like scrubbing all the shit and you get all the shit inside the sponge. And you're like, how the fuck am I supposed to get that bacteria out? You want to know how you get the bacteria out? You put it in the fucking dishwasher. It's a sponge that you can put in the fucking dishwasher. That in and of itself is the only infomercial you need. You know that from Bad Teacher where what's his face? Oh my god, what's his name? He's in Forgetting Sarah Marshall too.
Oh, Jason Segel.
Yeah, he says to like oh, like they're having a conversation about Michael Jackson versus LeBron and who's better or whatever. And he's like, yeah, 4 championship rings and whatever. And he's like yelling at him. And he says something about LeBron and he goes, oh, is that all the arguments you have? And he goes, it's the only argument I need, Sean.
God, I haven't watched Bad
And
Teacher in forever. I need to watch that
yeah.
again.
But like they're sitting at the school dance and I will never, that's the only argument I need, Sean. And that's what the scrub daddy is. The scrub daddy is you can put it in the fucking dishwasher. That's the only thing you need.
You can put any sponge in a dishwasher. I hate to tell you that.
Can you really?
Yes.
Really? Like those like dollar store ones you can put in the dishwasher?
Because a scrub daddy's just a sponge.
There's bigger holes in the scrub daddy.
I mean, it gives you like a thing to like grab it like this instead of just like holding it on the side. That's the only fucking difference because they make it shaped like a fucking smiley face.
You don't even need to put your hand in that. Like I don't even put my hand in that. Like I put like the utensils through that shit and I'm like, yeah, get all up in my knife.
I mean, I guess you could do that too, but you could also just kind of scrub it with a sponge. So
yeah, but you can't put that like I don't know. Feels cleaner.
My old roommate tried to say like the difference is like it reacts to like the like temperature of the water that you put it into.
It
And I'm like,
does.
no, so does a fucking sponge.
No, but it really does. No, it's different. So like a
really
sponge
not.
when you wet it, it like becomes pliable. If it's cold water and you have it on the sponge, it's like not usable. Like it's like a frozen block basically. If you put like warm water on it, it then becomes pliable.
Okay, but who's washing their dishes with cold water? Because those aren't clean dishes.
I'm doing a gym moment.
Staring right because you know I'm right. I mean, I'm sure there are people who wash their dishes with cold water, but smart
You
people
shouldn't be
aren't.
washing your cold. You shouldn't.
Yeah.
If you were washing your water with cold dishes, I'm here to tell you about something called sanitation temperatures.
Mhm. Bacteria doesn't die in cold water.
Bacteria only dies in a certain amount of water. Temperature, I don't remember what it is. I went to school and like learned some of it. Don't remember what the temperature is, but that doesn't work.
90 to 165.
Yeah, it's something like that. Keenan knows for sure. He used to work in restaurants.
I have to do like a food handlers thing just
Yeah.
because
Where
we
you
have
work, yeah.
yeah, we have like the eggs that we have to like rebuild and stuff like that. Like just we have to handle eggs is the only reason that we have to do it. But
Is
like
it
I have to know all
like do you
that
have to
shit.
register through like OSHA stuff too?
Yeah, I mean like we do it all like at work. Like there's like a fucking
Yeah.
specific video that we have to watch that's
Yeah, and
basically
it's
like
like a
our food
20-minute
handler stuff.
training thing or whatever.
Ours is an hour.
Yeah, that's fine.
But
But it's whatever.
yeah, but it's only because like it's only just to move around eggs from like one
Yeah.
container to another. That's the only reason I have to do it. And it pisses
Do
me
you
off.
guys do that?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Like there's a certain like process to it. Like each container of eggs has like a lot number and an expiration date. And so we like have to match those. Like even if we
Okay.
don't do it, there's still fucking customers that are moving shit around all the time and stuff like that.
Ew, do customers do that?
Yes.
If
They're not
you're
supposed
moving
to.
eggs and you don't work there, go fuck yourself.
Yeah. No, they're not supposed to, but they do it. And like
My mother has always taught me that you open up the eggs, you see if any are like cracked, and
mhm,
if they are, you move it and you go to the next one.
mhm. That's what you're supposed to do, but nobody listens to that.
Because
And
you're
like
not certified to touch the fucking eggs, so you don't fucking touch the fucking eggs.
and like we have to like sanitize our hands, wear gloves and stuff like that. Like there's a
Yeah.
whole fucking process to
Because
it.
they're pasteurized, so you can't even put them like you can't like they're special. Like you take off like the outer layer of them or whatever.
Yeah. And like the whole reason like we have like the lot numbers and stuff like that is if there's like a recall, like we know which ones to take off. But if people are just like fucking moving shit willy-nilly and all that, like
Yeah.
kind of doesn't matter at that point.
Yeah, like what egg is actually in there?
Yeah.
So
But
it's like you give it to somebody and it's like, why is this egg bad? It's like, wonder why.
yeah, because you got the one that has E. coli in it that everybody else just kind of moved over to that one. So
Yeah.
sorry.
And if you even think about like recalls, like if you're moving eggs like that and eggs get recalled and it's like your lot number doesn't get recalled, who's to say that one of the eggs from the
Yeah,
lot number that did get recalled
exactly.
isn't in that?
Yep.
So like now
But
you're going to get bird flu.
yep. But I'm not gonna sit there and like police everybody and like, hey, you don't do that. Like it's not
No,
my
'cause that's
job
not
to
your
do that.
job.
Yeah. So
Oh my God. People
and like
piss me off.
it doesn't help that like the way my store is set up is fucking stupid. Like for the most part, like we have like actual like shelves, but for the eggs, it's like
They like sit at the bottom.
yeah, like you know how like kind of like a deep freeze like freezer is?
Yeah.
We have
That's how New
those.
Jersey is too. They like sit at the bottom almost.
Yeah, we just have like we just put like whole crates in there.
Yeah, that's how
So
they
like
do it too.
so people like take that and they'll just like put it on like the little like edge in the middle of the aisle. And I'm like, don't fucking do that. Like we have a whole
Oh my
process
God.
to like stop this. And you're just letting them like get there and like sit there and get warm because I'm
Yeah.
not fucking patrolling this shit like all fucking day. Like I
Yeah,
have other
that's
shit I need to do.
horrible.
So
Do people literally not put back what they take away?
nope.
I hate you. I want to let you know that if you're one of these people, I hate your existence. Like you're the people that don't put back the shopping carts either.
Yep, they definitely are.
Oh my God. I would like absolutely be like, nobody's going to be like, do you know why Japan is as good as they are? Because they don't have people policing people. They have people going, we're just decent human beings. And that's just what they do.
They also have like super strict rules. So like
I'm
even the
down.
smallest crime, like you
Fuck
do a
it.
lot of time for. But
I'm
yes,
down
I'm
at this point, honestly. If we raise our if we lower all of our like inflation and everything like that and we actually like fucking do like because people that are shoplifting food right now, I'm so sorry that you are the product of this environment. It has nothing to do with you and it has everything to do with the system that's been created and you can't afford food. I'm very sorry for you. You are not who I'm speaking to.
no, like fucking shoplift food, shoplift medicine. Like
Yeah.
I've been on record on this podcast. You can steal, just don't fucking make me clean up after you. That's all
Yes.
I ask.
Yes.
Like
Like
I can't do
we
anything about it. So just
yeah.
go for it.
Yeah. Like they literally like I want to let you know that I was a manager of like a sunglass hut and a jewelry store. They literally have policies where like the employees cannot run after you because it's like
Mhm.
they have to protect their own selves. So
Yeah.
like you're not supposed to run after these people and stuff like that. And like that's a fact. Like no person being a cashier is going to give a fuck that you're stealing.
Yeah.
And that's why
Like
they got rid of the self checkouts.
yeah. Like I mean, you said you work at a sunglass hut or whatever. Like
Yeah.
stealing that, like by all means, fucking prosecute people. Like it's not
I
something you
chased
need.
somebody out of the store
But like food,
first time.
medicine, food, medicine, steal that. I don't give a shit. Like that's
Yeah.
stuff you need.
Yeah.
But like just bullshit like handbags, sunglasses, stuff
Yeah.
like that. Like by all means, send them to fucking jail.
Yeah. It's a
Like
pair of
make
fucking
some strict
sunglasses.
fucking rules for this shit.
I watched someone, me and the guy who worked for me, we watched this guy take a pair of Ray-Bans, fold them up, put them in his pocket. We watched it. We watched it. My employee was like, I have had a long day. I'm not into it. He walks over to him, which I told him not to do because I'm the manager. He walks over to him anyway. He goes, I don't give a fuck, Laura, and you know it. And I said, okay. He walks over to him
Okay.
and goes, do you want to take and he goes, do you want to take that out of your pocket and put it on the table? Because we know that we saw you do that. I'm on the phone with security because we watched him do it.
Mhm.
And I'm like, yeah, my employee's talking to him right now. I told him not to do it, but he's doing it. And James knew I was going to throw him under the bus like that. He knows who he is, and he knew I was going to throw him under the bus like that. And so, anyway, he's like, so the guy's like just trying on other sunglasses. And James, when I tell you this man, I'm going to use his first name, he's looking at him like this. He's looking at him like this. Man is trying on sunglasses, knows that he has the pair in his pocket, and he's staring at him. So he takes it out. So James walks away. I said, James, I'm on the phone with security. He already has it on camera. Like, they're on their way down. So the guy hears this. James walks over behind the cash register, still staring at him like this. Comes over to me. We watch him take it out of his pocket and put it on the fucking table and walk away. Now, there are certain times where I would get pissed. Like, it's a pair of Ray-Bans. I don't give a fuck. Luxottica owns them. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
There are certain times where I give a fuck. One of them is Tiffany's. Because Tiffany actually, in Sunglass Hut, Luxottica owns Sunglass Hut. Luxottica is the mother brand. Luxottica is actually a monopoly, and they're stationed in Italy. I used to work for them, so I know a lot of shit. They're stationed in Italy, so they're allowed to be in a monopoly because they're technically stationed in Italy. But every sunglass that you get in the United States of America is pretty much made through Luxottica. Literally, the Coach sunglasses, the Ralph Lauren sunglasses, and the Versace sunglasses are made in the same factory. You're literally like paying like $200 more for a Versace pair of sunglasses that are made in the same place as these other two. Anyway.
Beautiful.
Anyway. I know a lot of shit about Luxottica. They don't want me to talk. I didn't sign any NDAs. So they're a monopoly. And the thing is that if anywhere that you get a pair of Ray-Bans, they're owned by Luxottica. Ray-Ban sunglasses are owned by Luxottica. You can literally look at like the gray box that they come in, and in the bottom it'll say Luxottica. Like, they're owned by Luxottica. So I don't give a fuck about them because it's the company that I work for. However, Tiffany has they like basically put their sunglasses, like Luxottica doesn't own them. They basically are like a vendor for them. So I gave a shit about the fucking Tiffany's because it's the Tiffany company. It's not it's not Luxottica. It's not this like fucking shiesty bitches that I know. It's fucking Tiffany. So this person, I watched them steal a pair and I watched them walk over into shoes. I literally called security. I said, I'm going to go walk over into shoes and get them. And they're like, don't do that. I said, oh, fucking meet you in shoes.
I'm on my way.
I was like, they're like, don't go do that. I said, I'll meet you in shoes. And I hang up on them. I tell the perfume chicks who are next to me, because I'm in Macy's. So like Sunglass Hut is in all Macy's because they have like a partnership. So I used to work in the Macy's one. So I watch them walk over to shoes in Macy's. So I tell the perfume ladies, I'm leaving.
Watch my shit. Be right back.
and don't you know the one lady from perfume literally stands in the middle of the place because I'm going to go get a shoplifter, and I tell him. So she's like, I am not doing this. So I walk over and I confront him over in shoes. I said, give me those Tiffany's. And this person's like, I didn't do anything. I said, yes, you did. Give me those Tiffany's.
The fact that that's your answer means you did something.
Yeah, I was like, yes, you did. Give me those Tiffany's. And she's like, I'm not doing anything. I said, I called security. They are beating me over here. You better give me those Tiffany's and leave. Give me those Tiffany's out of your bag.
Take the other ones. I don't give a shit. Just don't take those ones.
Right? So like there were literally like Gucci, which ended up getting bought out by Luxottica while I was there. But Gucci, Tiffany, Chanel, and Bulgari were the only ones that I gave a shit about. Maui Jim too, because Maui Jim, but they didn't get stolen as much because Maui Jim's not like a big like brand.
Yeah.
Man, I was like telling the shoe ladies like, what's going on? I was like, you can get on phone with security. She took a pair of Tiffany's from me at Sunglass Hut, and I already called them, and they know I'm over here. I'm getting those back. And I said it to the woman, I'm getting them back. and she's like, and she's like looking at other shoes, and I'm like following her. I'm walking around with her. I'm like, we can walk into the mall. I don't give a shit. I'm gonna get these back from you. And she's looking at shoes, and I'm following her. And she pulls them out of her bag and puts them on top of like one of the shoe boxes and leaves the entire Macy's. And by the time security got down, she was gone. And I said, these are the ones that she took. and the shoe lady was like, yeah, no, she literally pulled it out of her bag. I was like, I ain't fucking today.
The closest thing I have to that was I think it was sometime around like Christmas or something, like years ago at this point. Like they have like different size like eggs and stuff like that, right? Like you have like large, extra large, jumbo, shit like that.
Yeah, like a 16, 12, whatever.
Well, not even just number, like actual like size of the egg itself.
Oh, the sizes. Okay.
Yeah. There was like this one lady who was she's putting a bunch of like the jumbo into like a container of the large ones, which were cheaper and stuff like that. But like I said, like these shelves are just like a deep freeze. Like I can see you. And so like I'm stocking out a thing of butter, and like I look over and she has this bright ass fucking pink carton of jumbo eggs that she's putting into a bright ass fucking green carton of large eggs. And like she's just like doing that, and like I just stare at her. I'm just like, and she like looks up. She's like sees me looking at her, and I'm just like, and I just go back to stocking butter. I'm like, I'm not gonna do.
What do you want me to do?
that.
Actually, like I'm not actually gonna do anything. For me, I watched you steal the actual pair of Tiffany's. And these Tiffany sunglasses, if you've ever gotten a pair, like $330 easy. Like $330 like easy.
Yeah.
So it's like you're not stealing something like a couple cents of eggs.
Yeah.
You're stealing like money. Like there was a guy that actually worked there that got his friend to come in to steal a bunch of sunglasses. And I kept telling him this was happening because I used to work over there because I was Macy trained. So I used to work over there and help him out sometimes. And I used to literally do the counts, and I'm like, you're missing like 6 pairs of sunglasses. And they're like, well, you didn't do the count right. I was like, no, I did the count right. When I worked, like the last time I was here, you had 2 boxes of Dolce & Gabbana backstock, and now you got like 7 pairs. Like you got a problem going on, right? And I used to tell him that, and I got ignored. Turns out they were actually watching this guy that worked there, and he would have his friend come in, ransack the store, go outside the parking lot. They would split the sunglasses. And the only reason this man got caught is because he would sell them on eBay and he used his real name. I'm not kidding. He used his real name when he was reselling them on eBay, and that is how he got caught. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? I've been sitting here for 2 months telling people that this is a problem, and everybody's been ignoring me. You could have kept getting away with it if you didn't use your real fucking name.
Fucking dumbass.
Dumbass.
There's a podcast I listen to, R.I.P. Rooster Teeth. A bunch of them like used to work at like a call center that would like help people like their internet and stuff like that. And there was somebody who had his friend come and like break in, steal a bunch of computers and stuff like that to sell. But they had like a gated like access thing to where like you had to enter in like an employee number to get in.
He used his employee number.
This guy had used his friend's employee number.
There we go. At least he was smart about it.
So like they knew exactly like who it was and who his friend was and stuff. So it was like, you fucking idiot.
Use your boss's number. Like fucking watch them put in the number and learn it and then use their number. How did they know their number? They didn't. That's the point. Man, if you're gonna commit crimes, please go to your smart friend.
Yeah.
Because like I know that like all of you dumb people have a smart friend. Like I am the smart friend, and I know that I'm the smart friend because people come to me.
Yeah.
Like you need the smart friend that's like kind of cunning, can win Survivor, and get you out of shit.
Yeah. There's people like us that think of things like through like a criminalistic means, but don't do it. Whether that's just because of anxiety or whatever.
I'm a better person than that.
Yeah. Like I'm the kind of person who like I look around to see like what I could kill somebody with if I need to.
Right,
like,
me too.
Whatever room I'm in, like I know how
to not nailed to the floor that I can shove down somebody's throat if I need to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you need that friend, and we are that friend. But
yeah. We also are the people that walk into the venue and know every single exit.
Yeah.
And not just the main one, because we're not going through the main one. We're going through one of the side ones. We've heard the stories. We're not getting burned up in the fire.
Yeah. Like my fucking job makes me like watch a goddamn video like at least once a year of like what to do if there's like an active shooter and shit like that.
Those are my
But like
favorite.
like for me, like I'm in a cooler most of the time. Like I
Yeah,
know what to do. Like, yeah, there's like, doors that you could get into the cooler through, but there's also shelves blocking them,
right.
which you maybe not like maybe you don't know that they move.
You get it.
But I also know like I have a stack full of like empty fucking milk crates back here that I could just put in front of the cooler door. So like even if you open it, you have that barrier to go through. And I
Right.
also know those things fucking hurt. So I can
Right.
just be off to the side and just fucking swing that at you.
I remember learning one of these things, and my regional manager says to me, "What do you do in case? What are you going to do in case of an active shooter?" I said, "I'm fucking leaving."
Yeah. I mean that's the actual
And
answer.
he starts acting all smug. And he's like, "Well, that's not what the protocol is." I said, "Oh, okay. What the protocol is that you walk into a neighboring store and lock yourselves in with it. However, what I am going to do is I'm going to leave and call you from a safe location.
Yeah, that's the
I'm
smart
not
answer.
not like if I can't get away, sure, I'm going to go into the other whatever. But I'm leaving the whole fucking place. I'm
Yeah.
not staying there. I'm not
Yeah.
anywhere. I've probably already seen him come through and I'm already through the door with my keys gone before I've probably locked myself into a case that he's never going to get into. I have already done the things that I need to do to protect myself. I'm not stupid.
Yeah. No, like if I can get out, I'm gonna get out. But like if I'm like right next to like my cooler or whatever, and
Right.
I know like that's probably the safest
Barricade the
place for me.
door.
Yeah, I'm gonna go in there. I'm gonna fucking put a bunch of fucking milk crates in there, and I'm gonna either wait till like I hear you like go off to the side where like I know you're over there, and I'm gonna move one of those like fucking shelves. I'm gonna go out through the door. I'm gonna go through the
Right.
front fucking door because I know you're not
Right.
there anymore.
You can also think
So,
about it like in Scream, where they push in Scream 2, I think she pushes over all the stuff and he can't get into the door. And then
yeah.
she just puts herself in the back corner.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for me, like, the cooler door opens out, so that's not really an option. Like,
There.
the door opens no matter what.
Fair. So you don't get locked in there.
So like
Fair.
my options are either like sneak out or fight. Like that's my only options
Right.
in that case. And I realize that, but I also have a plan for that.
Right.
So,
And it opens, and I want to let you know that it opens like that for your own safety when a non active shooter is there. So
yeah.
you don't get locked in.
Yeah. There's a there's a thing specifically on the door that says you're not locked in. Like press this fucking thing. And I'm like, okay, I can do that.
Right. Right. Yeah, no, I mean, if you don't walk into a classroom and think, "How can I save myself?" I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But, like, I think about that all the time. Like, whenever I walk like, I have the same spot that I sit in the same classroom because that's where all the journalism classes are. I sit there on purpose because
Yeah.
either you're gonna shoot me first or I'm gonna be the first one to, like, block the door and
Right.
crawl out the window and go into the woods that are right there. That's probably what I'm gonna do. I'm probably honestly, while I see you come down, I'm probably gonna open up the window and go out toward the woods that are like right there.
Yeah.
And hope that like the 50 feet distance to get to the woods is gonna be fine.
Like I haven't been like in a classroom since, this has been like an actual like problem. Like yeah, we had Columbine, we had Virginia Tech and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But like
Different.
it's
Completely
not
different. What we went through is completely different
yeah,
what these kids are going through, and I think we recognize that.
it's not something you have to think about. It's just like,
Yeah.
yeah, that kid snapped. Like that makes sense.
Yeah.
But like it wasn't a fucking drill that we had to do. Like we had
Yeah.
fire drills, we had down here we had like hurricane drills and stuff. I don't know if
We
y'all
did
had
have,
those.
like I remember in high school, we did have active shooter drills, but they were basically a joke, and it wasn't anything.
Yeah, we didn't even have that. Like we just
Yeah.
had fire drills, we had tornado drills, and like I guess like hurricane drills, which is just
Yeah.
kind of like get as high as you can.
Yeah, like, it was
But
very different, like, the reason that we had that is because we had a kid that got bullied really hard and, like, called in a bomb threat. And it turns out, I would like to disclaimer that with turns out he wasn't actually the one who called the bomb threat. His bullies called the bomb threat and blamed it on him. I would like to say that out loud for him and for everybody else that went to high school with me that you know.
It makes me laugh that you say that because, like, in middle school, like, we had like a record amount of bomb threats called in, like to the
Yeah.
point where they're like, if you fucking keep doing this, like, you're gonna have to stay extra days. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, like,
And they
it stopped
we
after
didn't
that.
do that, but they called one to bully a kid.
Yeah, we didn't have that. It was just people like just fucking calling them in like nothing, pretty much. And it
Yeah.
got to the point where they were just like, yeah, you're missing so much fucking class time to where like you're gonna have to stay extra days if you do this.
Yeah. Mine was way more nefarious.
Yeah.
mine was to literally hurt a human.
Yeah, that's some bullshit
Yeah.
right there.
I went to a high school that was like really bad in bullying, and like I the school is still a problem with bullying and everybody knows it. And like I just watched like probably like 2-3 years ago a kid get the shit beat out of him. He was on the baseball team, and the rest of the baseball team beat the shit out of him, and nobody did anything about it. Like this kid that like I just talked about, we used to run perimeters around the school, and it was raining the one day, and like a couple days later we went to go and like run around the perimeter, and there was still a mud puddle, and I watched like 4 or 5 people push him into the mud puddle. And our punishment from the school was that we couldn't run perimeters anymore. They didn't do anything. It was just that we didn't run perimeters anymore.
You don't have to do the punishment you were already doing.
It was like,
oh no,
but we're not going to help the kid. Okay. And I remember that is the day that I went home and told my mom about it. That is literally the day I went, and I had seen this kid get like bullied like millions of other times. I'm not going to say his name because it's not my trauma story.
Yeah.
I just feel absolute guilt and shame for being in the class that did this to him. And it turns out it was actually my friends that started the whole thing, which I didn't know about until I was an adult. That turns out my friends are the ones who started this. And my friends actually feel bad about it because they never meant for it to become this.
Yeah.
And once it became what it was, they felt bad about it. But they used to call him Gollum. And my friends made a little paper ring. And that's how it like gained steam. And that's how it all fucking started. And if you know who the fuck I'm talking about, you know who the fuck I'm talking about. And you fucking feel bad about it too. Because we all fucking feel bad about it. I have guilt and shame about it. Like
Yeah.
I like it's like nobody, like even if you didn't like do anything, you didn't stop it. And I remember the day that he got pushed in that mud puddle was the day I went home and told my mom about it. And me and my friend went home and told my mom about it.
Yeah.
And after the whole bomb threat thing happened, my mom went to the PTA meeting and said my daughter and her friend told me all about this and what's been going on and stuff. Like, it's not this kid's fault. Like, you people are assholes. My mom got bullied out of the PTA meeting by the bully's fucking parents. Like, my mom got bullied out of the PTA meeting because of them. And she was the only one talking sense.
Yeah.
How insane is that? They're all
How
a
did
bunch
we
of people
get
that
here?
voted for Donald Trump, which makes sense.
Yeah. I don't know how we got here.
Me either. You're going to have to listen to the back of this episode.
Yeah.
You're going to have to listen to the back of this episode, Tyler.
I mean, I'm not going to fucking edit shit. But aside from the stuff we've already talked about.
Drunkcast.
Hell yeah.
I finished it.
Proud of you.
Thank you.
It only took
Anyway.
like 4 or 5 of mine for you to finish one of those, but you know.
Thumbs up if you don't drink.
Can't do it.
Yeah. All right. So if you guys made it here, wow.
Congrats. Thank you. I'm sorry.
Welcome to Drunkcast. So sorry you got here. God only knows what hills and mountains and treacherous fucking climbs you got to be here.
Hope you enjoyed the journey.
God, who knew that me and you needed Stephanie to also rein us in?
I mean, I feel like I have more of a sense of responsibility if I have to take care of both of y'all.
Fair.
When it's just like us, I'm just like, yeah, fuck it. I don't care.
Okay. Baseball. Random shit. Bullying. trauma. Fuck a trigger warning. All right, guys. So, thank you so much for listening. Cannot believe you made it here. Please follow us on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook at Hot Garbage Pod. We also post all of these on YouTube. You can see like how like absolutely tipsy I am because you can see the top of this. You could also see like the gaping holes on the other side. You could see that I wasn't paying attention to my background at all.
You can see how much her camera shakes.
Right. Because it sits on my lap.
Yep.
So again, follow us. We have them up on YouTube at Hot Garbage Pod as well. Check us out. See my background of how fucking distorted the whole thing is. Drunkcast 2024. Welcome to Drunkcast. Feels like welcome to Jackass. Like it feels like that exact thing. Yeah, like it feels like that exact thing. Like welcome to Drunkcast feels like welcome to Jackass. Like they rhyme.
It's just nowhere near as entertaining.
Right. We are yeah. Who do you think is more entertaining, our comedy or them?
People getting hurt or us just getting like slightly political but making it funny.
I hope somebody comes on here and is like, no, you guys are better than Jackass.
Oh, please leave a comment.
Leave a comment. Leave a comment. Please. If you've never left a comment before, let this be it.
We only have like one comment like on like the fucking Podbean website or whatever.
I know.
Like just like follow some links, go there and be like, yeah, y'all are fucking hilarious, please.
Yeah. Yeah. Please get us more than one.
Reassure us, please.
Yeah. Okay, so thank you guys so much for listening and making it here during Drunkcast. Thank you so much for listening. And as always, stay trashy.